down. They're doing it really well. Another first down. 6 points for Warwick. A pitch out there. Good run for the Hurricanes. MB is going in the air for a bomb. Catch. The Wolverines to 10. 5. Touchdown Woodside. Friday night football in Newport News, Virginia. It is Menchville versus Heritage on this beautiful fall evening. Hi again, everybody. I'm Greg Bicaveras. Welcome to our 25th year of high school football. It's truly indeed a pleasure and honor to be with you all these years, joined once again by Nate Milton. And Nate, when you talk about these two teams, Menchville and Heritage, both need a win.
You're absolutely right, Greg. Summertime may be over, but it's hurricane season here at Todd Stadium. The Canes want to see if they can come out and get a good win tonight.
And the Monarchs under new coach Ray Savage definitely need a win.
Yeah, Menchville does not want to fall into a 0-4 hole to start the season. It's going to be on Coach Ray Savage and this young Menchville team to see if they can turn things around starting tonight.
Let's get down to the beautiful field. Of course, Menchville and Heritage once again in 2015. First of all, Nate, what are the keys, first of all, for Menchville? The keys for Menchville.
Yes, I think Menchville's got to step up. They've got to do a lot of things tonight. You know, it's not where you start, it's where you finish in the season. And Menchville's got to come out here, make some big moves, make some things happen. It's going to be a fun game tonight, Greg.
Absolutely, and of course you talk about the Hurricanes under Massenberg. They're used to making the playoffs.
Yeah, they've got a culture of success, and you really got to like what Coach Massenberg and his staff have done with this squad. It's going to be interesting to see what the Canes can do coming out tonight to start this game off right.
Let's take a look at the officials for tonight's ball game. The referee, Jim Mayhew, the umpire, Zach Ray, the linesman, Bobby Glasky, line judge, you see it right there, Kevin Howell, side judge, Sean Whitfield, field judge, Ivy Allen, and back judge, Josh Easton. Very good refs.
And our great officiating crew here tonight going to call a great game. It's a wonderful time of year, folks. Hope everybody had a safe and fun summer, but we're back to kick it off. Football, Friday nights, is what it's all about, Greg.
Absolutely. And you talk about the Monarchs, Nate. Well, this year they've lost to Nansemond River 53-7. They lost as well to Woodside and Phoebus, so they're really just struggling.
Right, and as we mentioned off the top, you know, they got a brand new coach here, Ray Savage, the third head coach for Menchville in 5 seasons. He's got to turn around this culture. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, but you got to put one foot in front of the other, get some positive momentum, and it could start here tonight with a good win over Heritage Hurricanes.
And Menchville lost to Woodside 46-7, as well as Phoebus 34-0, and we mentioned the opening loss to Nansemond River 53-7. For Heritage, hasn't been much better. They got walloped by Lake Taylor 54-0. That was really an eye-opener. Warwick they beat 36-18, but struggled. And Hampton really was several points better, beating them 42-20. Heritage really needs to rebound as well.
Yeah, and they're coming off a really solid year, 11-2, 8-1 in the district, and a loss to Monarchs in the AA South semifinals. And, you know, Coach Massenberg has instilled, like we said, Greg, a lot of discipline, a lot of toughness with this squad, and we're going to see this is a very big game. You know, don't take Menchville for granted just because they haven't won this season. Anytime you got two Newport News schools going head-to-head, you can throw the records out the window.
Of course, our football powered by Fazoli's.com.
Absolutely. Fazoli's.com, pizza and football.
All right, great showcase event. Glad you're with us. Our crew back for our 25th year. Of course, yours truly and Ray Price. Busy summer. This month we've got sports highlights from Kings Dominion for September.
And I got to tell you, Greg, it is great to be back here. And, of course, sports highlights. You can check the archives on nnpstv.com. It's great to be back in the booth with you, Greg.
Always a pleasure, my friend. It's like that extra mustard and ketchup on the hot dog. It makes it that much better. Fazoli's and Fazoli's.com at 11739 Jefferson Avenue in Newport News. Right there as well, 596-4324, Fazoli's.com. Underway, Menchville in the white, Heritage in the maroon, gray and white. And the Hurricanes have the ball, good special teams. And that's where teams are vulnerable early in the season is special teams.
Wow, good run up the middle. Great return by the Hurricanes special teams. Is going to set this offense up in a prime position to start this game off. Nice job by the Heritage Hurricanes, and we're going to see what they can do on offense.
They like the Heritage likes to spread on offense. Menchville likes to counter on the 4-3. You definitely want to see how the line plays early on.
Yeah, and Menchville, what Coach Savage has been talking about all season is they got to get better on the line. They've got to get better defensively, and we're going to see if they can pressure Heritage's quarterback tonight.
12-minute quarters in the Virginia High School League. Glad you're with us. Greg Picaveras, Nate Milton. Our 25th year of high school football coverage. Hurricanes back to pass already. Deep. Complete for a touchdown.
Wow.
Heritage wastes no time at all.
Big-time statement by the Hurricanes, Greg. First play on the first drive of the game, and it connects for 6.
And Nate will give us a scoring recap here in a moment. We'll take a look at it again. After the special teams here, 15 seconds elapsed, they scored 6 points.
It did not take the Hurricanes long to touch down here at Todd Stadium tonight, Greg.
And you're so vulnerable early on in the season. And, of course, hard to believe after tonight, 40% of the season's done.
And the crazy thing is, we talked about Menchville coming out. They wanted to establish themselves on that defensive line. And here we see on the replay, they give the quarterback just way too much time. He has time to step back, find his receiver, step up in the pocket, and then call long distance. Hey, what do you know? He's going to pick up the phone and run it home. Great job by the Heritage Hurricanes on offense, making a statement on the first play of the ball game. Excellent connection for the Heritage Hurricanes. The Heritage Hurricanes taking the early lead on the Menchville Monarchs, Greg.
And boy, such a good quarterback. $11:45 left in the first quarter, 7-0. As the Hurricanes just rolling on early on.
You know what I'm interested in, Greg? I want to see what Ray Savage, the senior, number 9, he's the son of the head coach. I want to see what Ray Savage can do to get this team motivated, to get this team pumped up tonight.
Absolutely. Well, it's, like we mentioned early on, the early quarters, the jitters, and you got to get them out. This is not how you wanted to start the game.
And that first score for Heritage, that goes a long way toward getting rid of some of those jitters. And that was a long bomb, first play of the game. Not a whole lot of action had passed by, but first play of the game, we saw the connection. Boyd goes deep, finds a man in the clear, and he gets to the end zone. Heritage on top early on. The Heritage Hurricanes did a great job on that opening drive.
$7-0 with 11:40 left. Glad you're with us here at Todd Stadium in Newport News. Great job by the crew as well, and the grass and everything, and all the administration, school board, everybody really excited about another school year. Great connection again. We mentioned the 1-2 punch for Heritage.
Yeah, and Boyd hooking up with Amanye Watson. Great job with that 1-2 punch. Now we're going to see if Menchville can respond, Greg. Can they get off the canvas and make a statement on their side of the ball?
And the Monarchs keep it on the ground. They go pretty much in reverse. And Menchville, folks, likes the power spread. Both teams like the power spread offense. In fact, Menchville likes the spread offense, 4-3 defense, strength is speed, weakness experience. Heritage, the offense spread, defense 4-2-5. Strength is the offense, weakness they're very young.
And the key player for Menchville on offense, Malik Dixon, you mentioned they run the spread offense this year. Last year, they ran a lot out of the veer. So it's interesting to see what kind of changes Coach Savage has implemented with this Menchville Monarchs offense, and will it pay dividends?
And Menchville nowhere there. See Heritage in the gray and maroon and white. Coached by George Massenberg. Menchville coached by former UVA player Ray Savage. Savage, of course, will be on the October edition of Sports Highlights with his son. And Casey Vick's son from Denby. Bring up a big 3rd and 18. This is not what Menchville wanted to do to start the game.
No, and it all goes back to the line play, both on offense and defense. You've got to impose your will on the other team. And unfortunately for Menchville, they haven't been able to do that early on in this game tonight.
Big 3rd down. You gotta convert on 3rd downs. Of course, 3 things. See the crowd right there. 3 things about Ray Savage. He went to Warwick High School, played for Bill Lyons, played for George Welsh at Virginia. He was at one time sports agent. 3 facts about George Massenberg. Went to Hampton High School. He's made the postseason at Heritage, and he's changed the culture.
Yeah, and what I like about both Coach Massenberg and Coach Savage is that they have roots here in the community.
Right.
And I think that's the way you start to turn things around. And even though Menchville hasn't won a game yet, I think Coach Savage is trying to get these guys on the right track and start building that culture.
Menchville in all types of trouble. And they just get pushed back and back and back.
Just a dominant push, just dominant surge by the Heritage Hurricanes defensive front. Menchville never really got on track on that series, Greg.
Menchville's quarterback, Shamar Butts.
And I think, whenever you've got a team that's gone through a lot of coaching changes, a team that's gone through a lot of roster changes, it's going to take time to get consistency. And that's really what Menchville's got to work on right now, is getting that consistency both on offense and defense.
Right. Menchville last year went 1-9. The only team they beat was Maury, 28-7. That was early in the year.
Yes.
It's been a long time since they've won.
Yeah, and then for the seniors and juniors on this team, they've experienced a lot of losing at their time in Menchville High School, and it'd be really great to see them turn things around, starting with the big win tonight.
This might be the best play of their game is the punt. But it gets a horrible roll, and the Hurricanes will have it in good field position. Menchville's key loss last year was Elijah Murphy. Heritage's key loss was, of course, Dimitri Holloway.
And Holloway was just a great player, and that's the great thing about Heritage High School. They seem to find each year, they seem to find somebody to step up and be the next man up. This year is Jeremiah Boyd. He's going to be the next man stepping up, leading this Heritage Hurricanes offense. And that's how you build consistency. And with consistency comes winning. Yes, Heritage is 1-2 early on this season, but as we saw last year, they're a team that if they can get rolling, they can make some things happen.
The problem is you need baby steps to get that consistency, but you want to get the W's too. Heritage keeping it on the ground.
Yeah, Rome was not built in a day, Greg.
No, it wasn't. Shackelford on the run. And the run always opens up the pass, too.
And I've been really impressed with the way that Heritage, we didn't really see it so much in this game because they scored on the first play of the game, but in some of their other games this season, they've been consistent with the pass and the run, their distribution.
And there's another example of it. Boyd complete as the receiver goes across the 20. There you see number 9. Of course, that was Brandon Jones.
And he's got some weapons. Both, we saw the touchdown to Watson earlier. Jones doing big things. I've really been impressed with just the maturity right now that we're seeing from Jeremiah Boyd, the Heritage quarterback. And if you've got a good quarterback, that goes a long way to making sure that your offense can be consistent, Greg.
Yes, it is. Reggie Crudup just came up here and joined us.
Always good to see Reggie.
And Heritage on the outside run. They don't have a feeling that was a big play for Menchville. That's the type of play they need. That could have been scary.
Yeah, Menchville needs big plays. Like you said, it's baby steps. And if you get some positive momentum going forward, then you can start to build and start to get bigger and better. And one play could change the tone of this game, and that's what Coach Savage wants to instill in these boys here tonight. They got to go out here, and they've got to fight. Nothing is given. Everything is earned. And we're going to see if Menchville can earn a win tonight.
No question. And it brings up 2nd and 10 for the Hurricanes in the gray uniforms, coached by George Massenberg. Of course, still you can say it's early, but it's not that early. This is game 4 now.
Yeah, this is game 4. It's still in the first half of the season, but by now you kind of know what your team is. You kind of know what your offense is. We talk about Boyd, and he had a great freshman season. Then he got hurt last year, so the big task for him is to go out there, Greg, and play without fear. Play like you did before you got hurt.
It's a totally different Heritage team that went 11-2 last year.
Yep.
They're already 1-2 now.
And the schedule doesn't get any easier.
No. And the Hurricanes almost waltzed through another 6. Up 7-0 with 7:06 left in the first quarter. Greg Bickavaris, Nate Milton. Always a highlight we do before our season. During the first game, we highlighted a top player for each team in the local schools here. Of course, for Menchville, Anthony Wyatt. For Heritage, Omar Martin. Warwick, DeMonte Good. Denby, Casey Vick II. Woodside, Chad Mitchell. Hampton, Javon Quillen. Bethel, Elijah Parker. Kickitan, Cameron Stevenson. Phoebus, Trey Hamlin. And Gloucester, Martane Morris. Another 6 points. Shackelford just does the moonlight walk on a fall evening in Newport News.
Tell you what, that was a true shack attack right there. Right up the middle. Let's take a look at this again, folks.
Could this be a track meet early on, Nate?
It might be. And again, it all comes down to the offensive line play, the defensive line play, and a great surge by the offensive line opens up a big hole, and that Mack truck known as Shackelford runs right through it. 6 more points on the board for the Heritage Hurricanes.
And you can make that 7. It's now 14-0. Already 7:01 left in the first quarter. And what you're seeing is Heritage has not been happy the way they played the first 3 games, and they're taking it out on Menchville.
Right. This is a bad combination, Greg. You got a team that hasn't won a game versus a team that comes in with something to prove.
A chip on their shoulder.
It could get ugly early. So right now, if I'm Coach Savage, I got to tell my guys, hey, take a deep breath. We're down right now, but we've got plenty of time. Let's play our game. Let's stay focused, and let's get something good happening.
Like we mentioned, Menchville lost to Nansemond River 53-7. Woodside 46-7. Phoebus 34-0. Heritage, same thing. They lost to Lake Taylor 54-0. Beat Warwick 36-18, and lost to Hampton 42-20.
And this is a Heritage team. Unlike Menchville, the Heritage team is used to success. They had a great season last year, and so they want to get back and show that that wasn't a fluke. They want to show that they are one of the best teams in the district, and that'll start tonight with a big win over Menchville if they can get it done.
Menchville, of course, last time they were in the postseason was 1993. Heritage, of course, made it last year, and they won the state championship in 2000. They're always going to be measured on the 2000 team, and no team has gotten close. I thought last year's team and the team the year before was getting there, but not quite at Quillen's level.
Yeah, I don't think any team is ever going to be as good as that 2000 team. That's
ever in
standard.
Newport News.
Not in Newport News. That's the standard. But the team we saw last year from the Heritage Hurricanes, they were really good. They just were still needed. They were 1 or 2 pieces away from taking that next step. But I think they've got the right coach and they got the right system in place. Menchville, on the other hand, like you said, Greg, they haven't made the playoffs since I was about 50 pounds lighter and had less gray hair. So it's been a while.
Several decades ago. In fact, that was our 3rd year of doing games.
Yes.
That should tell you something. Back when Mr. C was producing, of course, Ray Price, of course, producing now. 6:52 left in the first quarter. So you talk about Heritage, Jeremiah Boyd, Treshawn Shackelford, the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, you've got a great balanced offense. That's what I like. You've got the quarterback, Boyd, who is directing things. You got Shackelford with the running attack. And then you throw in those wide receivers like Jones and like Watson, and you've got to really balance the offense that if they can get things consistent and keep it moving, I think they can make some noise. And, of course, we've covered over a dozen different sports, and we've been showcasing them over the years here on NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com. And it's been a pleasure to bring them to you, folks.
Beautiful fall evening in Newport News. Greg Bickavaris, Nate Milton, summer and fall kind of mixing together in September.
Thought you were going to sing some Earth, Wind, and Fire there for a second.
There you go. And as you would always say, when we do games on Saturday, easy into Sunday morning.
There you go. And it is not easy right now for the Menchville Monarchs. It is anything but, Greg.
Already 14-0. Heritage Menchville with the ball going right to left in the white uniforms. Menchville's had some great players like Rodney Womble and Al Toon and Billy Wright, David Macklin, Robert Hunt. Heritage, of course, had great players like Bruce Royal, Larry Davis, Michael Johnson as well. We'll go over the coaching tree over the years. Menchville again on the ground. Good run.
Wow.
But you got to get across to the red zone. Flags down. And the referee's going to be watching the late hits.
Yes, they're going to be keeping a close eye on the action out there. That was a nice run, maybe Menchville's best offensive play of the game, but it ended abruptly with a big shot by the Heritage Hurricane defense. And those are the type of hits, Greg, that'll have you thinking, as we see a flag on the play, those hits will have you thinking about coming down the middle next time.
If it's too close to the head, of course. Because concussions can happen at Pee Wee, high school, college, and, of course, the NFL.
Yeah, and I know some people out there might be watching and saying, that didn't look that bad. But it is about the safety of the kids. That is the ultimate thing. They want to come out here, have fun. They want to play for their school pride. But you do want these kids to be safe out there. And, of course, you are watching Prep Football on Cox Cable Channel 47 in Newport News, Verizon Fios 17, and NNPSTV.com.
And Menchville gets a lot of yardage there at the penalty at the 6:08 mark in the first quarter. Fazoli's.com, pizza and football.
That is a great combination.
1st and 10. Menchville at the Heritage 38. Screenplay complete. Nice catch by number 6, Malik Dixon.
Malik Dixon, the engine of this Menchville offense. They tried to get something going on the screenplay, Greg. Took a little bit too long to develop, and a great job of pursuit by the Heritage Hurricanes defense. And, of course, Hampton Roads Spell Sports, NNPSTV.com.
See the referee there, Jimmy Mayhew. We mentioned Heritage's key loss was Dimitri Holloway. 11-2 last year, made the postseason. Menchville 1-9 a year ago. Penalty on the Monarchs. Heritage and Menchville, of course, battling. Menchville, Nate, averaging 4 points a game on offense, giving up 44 on defense, been shut out once.
Yeah, that's
Heritage averaging 18 on offense, good. The bad is they're giving up 38 a game.
Yep.
And they've been shut out once. So this is not the normal Heritage start. But remember a few years ago they didn't win a game.
Yeah. And
Before Massenburg.
Coach Massenburg has done a great job turning this program around. They're not as dominant as they were last year, not by a long shot. But I think they do have what it takes to make some noise and be one of the better teams in the district.
And this is not what Menchville wanted. You got momentum with the penalty, and then you go back behind the 50.
Yeah, this is, they're going the wrong way. Menchville did a good job on the run. They got the penalty. Things seem to be going their way. This is a big drive for them because if they can get some points on the board right now, it can bring down some of those nerves, some of those jitters. But they're going in the wrong way, and this just plays into the hands of a very hungry Heritage Hurricanes team, which, like you said, Greg, have a big chip on their shoulder tonight.
And Menchville doesn't want to make a U-turn.
It is an illegal U-turn right now. Like somebody needs to pump the brakes. Coach Savage has got to get these boys in the right mind, in the right state of mind to come out here and make some positive offensive plays.
And Menchville down 14-0 with 4:46 left in the first quarter. Just struggling to get some type of momentum. Heritage, like we mentioned, the gray, maroon, and white. Menchville, 7 of their 10 games are at Todd. And, of course, Heritage, 8 of their 10 games are right here. When you play two Newport News schools, the only difference is you're on one sideline or the other. All the Newport News schools play their home games here. Now, other states, in other cities, they play their home games on campus, which is kind of a different feel.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, doing a game from a campus?
That would be crazy. I mean, when I had my freshman year of high school was in California, in San Diego, and our football stadium was on campus. Our football field was on campus, so I understand that. But
it's such a nice field here.
It is. It's actually like a home field advantage, whereas here at Todd Stadium,
neutral.
Technically, there's a home team, but both teams know about this stadium, the ins and outs, and all that good stuff.
Don't forget Sports Scene on 1650 a.m. every Wednesday from noon to 1. Also, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen.
And, of course, NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com is your home for football.
4:07 left in quarter number 1. You see the coaching staff for Heritage. There's Massenberg with his back turned around.
I can't say enough about the job he's done with this program.
Oh, great job.
And you know, I would say Coach Maskenberg along with Coach Dodson, those are kind of the models that any coach in Newport News should emulate, you know.
And here comes the punt for the Monarchs. 4th and 28. Good roll. Probably not a good idea to take it back. That's when you can have a fumble.
Yeah, not a good idea at all to pick it up. Fortunately for the Hurricanes, they were able to retain possession of that football. But, yeah, that could have been a very risky maneuver by the Canes on that return. And, of course, you can find us on Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at HR Online Mall.com, at Nate Mosaic, at GJBTV, and at Cospod, all on Twitter. Thank you for following us.
Twitter's really dominating Facebook. Facebook's more about happy birthday.
Yes.
Twitter's more about business.
Yes, Greg and I both had birthdays this past summer.
Right. We're still young.
Still young. We still got a lot of
eligibility. Danny Glover would say,
getting better, not older.
Oh, I'm getting too old for this.
We age like fine wine.
That's right. Hurricanes keeping the ground. Fumble. Menchville's got it. Menchville needed the big play. They might have gotten the big play. The key is, can they capitalize on the big play?
Big play by the Menchville defense, led, of course, by Ray Savage, and a great job getting in there. The defense making a big play. That's what they needed. They needed something to turn the momentum. Not only did they get the ball back, Greg, but they are in scoring position.
Wow, see, one of my notes from last year is still up in the press box. Unbelievable.
Somebody left it because it's like a legend, like a museum.
And I want to thank the school system and Ray Price for getting these dividers up here. You know, a little privacy too.
Yeah, you know, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Yes. Ray's son Sam is up here. Sam Price.
Big series.
Sammy's close to our age, Nate. All growing up together. All right, Menchville keeping on the ground. Kenny Hicks. We want to thank Kenny for the dividers. Kenny, we owe you one. From Plant Services, I tell you, folks, it takes the entire division to make it happen. The Newport News school system getting it done. The fans enjoying themselves. This beautiful fall evening, really, when you talk about things to do on the peninsula, this is probably number one entertainment for a lot of people besides going to a movie on the weekend.
Yeah, it's inexpensive. It's a great night out, great atmosphere.
Get a chance to socialize a little bit?
Yeah, I've been out of high school for – I don't even want to say it. My sister's been out of high school a little bit less than I have, but my parents still go to games here at Todd Stadium because they just love the atmosphere. It's almost like a date night for them.
Right. You know, it's like reunions. When people try to get a hold of us, they see enough of us on TV. Yeah. Nate's ready to charge an appearance fee for your reunions.
You know, yeah. I mean, I love everybody from the class of 96, but I need a little bit of incentive to show up at these reunions.
They see you enough on TV.
It's like a personal appearance.
That's right. All right, 2:40 left and counting in the first quarter. Here comes Butts. And that's the name of the quarterback, and he throws it dangerous up the middle, but caught. Menchville. Do they get in the end zone? One person saying yes. 6 points for the Monarchs.
Wow.
Dangerous pass that could have been intercepted, but the Monarchs caught it.
That was quite a play right there.
Shamar Butts.
Like you said, Shamar Butts, he drops back. A little bit of the chuck it up and hope for luck.
That was up for grabs almost.
And just the outstretched arms of his receiver. And now he's got to find his way into the end zone.
That was Denari Hairston.
Hairston crossed the goal line. The ball came out, but he had already crossed the plane. An excellent job by the Menchville Monarchs on that play. Again, that was a nice connection from Butts to Hairston. Excellent job.
And now they're saying it goes back. Points are not on the board.
Wow.
Points are off the board now. Unbelievable.
That is a
Touchdown
heartbreaker.
taken away. It was 6 points, but you do 6 minus 6. That's tough. That's a big deal for Menchville to try to overcome that.
Not only is it a blow on the scoreboard, but it's an emotional blow.
It's like a lottery. You
We'll see
rarely
if they
get
can
that
do it
chance.
again.
You throw up the middle again. You can do it 10 times, only do it once.
Wow.
Incomplete.
That is a heartbreaking move right there, because like you said, Greg, it's not just about getting the.
It's like give them that touchdown. You know,
You had
they worked so hard for it.
Yes, it's like remember that old story when the Greek man, he pushed the ball up, he pushed the stone up the mountain every day, and then at the end of the day, the stone rolled back down the hill. It was old Greek mythology.
Well, the Newport News Greek Festival is coming up October 22nd through the 24th. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org.
Oh, I love the synergy. I love the way we just rolled into that.
Of the Dr. Mary V. Bickaveris Memorial Tennis Tournament coming up in 2016, 16th year. And it is up, and it is good. So they do get 3 points. Menchville scores 3 at the 2:14 mark.
3 for the Menchville Monarchs. It's not as good as that touchdown would have been, but at least they come away with some points on this offensive series.
See George Massenberg right there. Learned a lot from Mike Smith, who's been coaching Hampton since 1971. Made the postseason last year. Really changed the culture around. And, of course, Hampton Road Spell Sports, nnpstv.com. Tell your friends about nnpstv.com. Sports highlights, archives on nnpstv.com. On this beautiful fall evening in Newport News, thank you for your entertainment and pleasure. Don't forget, webcast on nnpstv.com. .2:14 left in the first quarter. Menchville gets on the board. 14-3 on the field goal. Touchdown taken away. So the 6 points, all that work they did, the pass, everything taken away, and that would have changed the entire momentum of the ball game early. And we'll be having some other prep games for you this fall. Nate, go ahead and give us a recap. What happened on that touchdown takeaway? With the penalty.
We saw the completion. Butts went back there, passed it. Harrison got it, as we see Menchville out there on the field. Harrison had it. We saw him extend across the goal line, but unfortunately, they said he did not have the control when he crossed it.
Yeah, Menchville, like we said, this year is only averaging 4 points a game. Now, that would have given them a little bit of a boost, psychological.
Yes.
They need every type of edge they can get.
It's been so hard for Menchville to score offensive touchdowns this year. They get one, and we said, Greg, it just looked like Butts went back there and just threw it up for grabs. Harrison did an excellent job of getting it, but unfortunately it did not count, and Menchville only comes away with 3 points.
And he threw it at no man's land right up the middle, really. That was dangerous, but they still caught it because of the athletic ability of Harrison.
Harrison did a great job going up and getting it. 6'2", 195, the senior, trying to make something happen for his squad.
Hurricanes on the throw. Goes out of bounds.
And now we're going to see Heritage go back to work. Heritage has got to feel relieved that they didn't give up that touchdown. They only gave up 3 points on that drive. And now we're going to see if Boyd and these Hurricanes can put some more points on the board on their end.
Watson on the catch for Heritage.
I really like Watson's, what we've seen out of Watson tonight, Greg. He does a good job of getting himself open in space, making catches, not taking too many risks.
2 minutes left in the first quarter. The score is Heritage 14, Menchville 3. Greg Pickaveris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. Halftime festivities coming up as well. 4 quarters. NMPS TV and NMPSTV.com, your home for football. Heritage on the run. Really, they can play conservative, because they've got the confidence. They're trying to work some kinks out, too. Mike Nichols and, of course, Dwayne Peters, Brian Nichols. Three gentlemen right there all doing a great job for the Newport News Schools. Less than a minute counting here in the first quarter.
And you just see the confidence now that Heritage has with this offense they're playing.
And that stop on defense from the penalty.
That stop on defense was huge. And now you see the confidence that Heritage has on this offensive game plan right now.
Boyd on the outside. You have to watch how you hold the football, too.
And Boyd doing a good job to get the corner, but like you said, Greg, a little bit holding that ball a little bit too casual for my liking, but a good job by Boyd using his legs to pick up some positive yardage.
Got to thank Mike Nichols for bringing the Diet Cokes up here, too.
Mike Nichols is just a great all-around guy. Like he brings sunshine into the room, and this time he brought Diet Cokes into the room, so got to love Mike Nichols.
Of course, Nate, you don't like Diet Coke. Or do you?
Here's the thing, Greg. I like some diet drinks, like Diet Dr. Pepper. I really like. I'm not a big fan of Diet Pepsi, but Diet Coke's okay. But I'd say Diet Dr. Pepper is my number one on the diet scale.
32 seconds left in the first quarter. Here at beautiful Todd Stadium in Newport News. Want to welcome Belinda Langston as well to the Peninsula Sports Club board. She was with us at the last meeting, longtime administrator in the athletic department with Wayne Begore and Gary Sylvie and Dick Tyson and now Mike Nichols. Of course, yours truly and Ray Price and Nate Milton have all won media awards from them. Here's the bomb, incomplete. You can still see both these teams are a work in progress.
Yeah, they're not a complete finished team yet, but you can see some glimpses of, this is a solid squad here. And the great thing for Heritage is Boyd's still only a junior. Like, he's got another year to mature. He had that injury last year. So I think if Boyd can continue to grow and continue to progress, this team, it might not happen this year, Greg, but I think maybe next year they can be a team that can get deep in the playoffs again.
But right now, Dr. Phil can talk to both.
And Dr. Phil would have a wonderful time talking to Menchville.
Flags all over the place.
What you need to do is think about yourself and not the other person. You got to get offensive instead of being so defensive.
See, he would tell Heritage, don't get excited about the penalty you took away from Menchville. You didn't do it, they did it.
Right. If you didn't do it, they did it to you.
Sometimes that's almost like, taking candy away early. You get the break from the penalty, but you get lackadaisical too. And Menchville should seize on that opportunity.
Yeah, Menchville did a good job on this defensive series, finally able to slow down Heritage.
And that is the end of the first quarter with the score. It is here at Todd Stadium in Newport News, Virginia. The Hurricanes 14, Menchville 3. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, my name is Barbara Smith, and I'm with the Newport News Public Schools Department of Transportation. At the bus stop, students should stand away from the road in an orderly fashion and always be mindful of other people's property. While on the school bus, students should always behave, keeping their hands, heads, and any other objects inside the bus so as not to distract the driver from keeping their eyes on the road. Motorists must stop for a school bus and remain stopped until the bus's lights are off and begins to move again. Here at Transportation, our number one objective is the safety of the children.
All right, back here to Todd Stadium in Newport News. Glad you're with us for the festivities. Band getting ready. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, our 25th year. Nate, you talk about the first quarter. Heritage showed some opportunity in the air. Menchville came back a little bit, but the penalties hurt Menchville. Heritage needs to be a little bit more proactive as well.
Yeah, the score is 14-3, but truthfully, Greg, it's been closer than that. Menchville had an opportunity to score when they were down in the red zone. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get it in. They had to settle for a field goal. Heritage, on the other hand, they had some big plays early on, but the last offensive series, Menchville was finally able to slow them down, and we'll see if they can turn that defensive stop into an offensive score.
College games the weekend of the 26th, Virginia Tech at East Carolina, Maryland at West Virginia, Western Michigan and Ohio State, Appalachian State at Old Dominion, NFL, Atlanta at Dallas, Philadelphia the Jets, San Francisco at Arizona, the weekend of the 27th. Of course, the theme early for the NFL has been, what are the Manning brothers going to do? And let's rest aside here. Neither one of us is spring chicken anymore.
No, they are not spring chickens anymore, but I still think they're quality quarterbacks. Eli had a chance to beat Dallas, and you talk about Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is a guy that finds a way to win. He is not the Peyton Manning of 5 years ago.
Doesn't have to be, though.
But, right, and that defense for Denver is so good, they can win games on their defense. And I think that if you got Peyton Manning, he's got to get to Kubiak's system. They've got to work some things out. But I think Denver's going to be okay. New York, they're in a division that they can win. They just got to stop making mistakes and hope Victor Cruz can get back a little bit sooner.
Redskins, Dr. Phil.
You've got a problem right now. You're not going anywhere fast, my friend. And your quarterback's on the bench. He's hurt.
I said it on Sports Scene on 1650 that it might be difficult to win as many games they did last year. And I'm not joking either.
Yeah. I mean, I do not like the way the Redskins are set up right now. You know, you talk about Jay Gruden. This might be his last year if things do not improve.
11:05 left in quarter number 2. Heritage 14, Menchville 3. Menchville on the ball, white uniforms, keeping it on the ground. Menchville trying to mix it up a little bit. They've still got Denby and Warwick, and they've got Gloucester on the road.
And none of those games are gimmies, Greg. You know, none of those district games are, patty cakes. None of them are patsies. You know, it's going to be tough when you're going into each and every one of those games, and they got to come out and play to win.
Yeah, Bethel, Hampton, Kecoughtan, never easy, and of course Heritage, Bethel, Denby, Phoebus, Gloucester, Kecoughtan, Woodside.
Hampton
never
is
easy.
Never easy. And now you got Mike Smith, who recently passed 800 victories.
And they're playing better.
Yes.
Hampton dominated Heritage last week.
Yep, I think
they dominated Woodside too.
This Hampton team is a team that can surprise a lot of people, and it's kind of funny to say that because Hampton's not really an underdog team.
Now, can you imagine if Hampton's quarterback Quillen was at Heritage? See, that's the difference.
Yes.
They've got a great quarterback.
And I mean, Boyd's a good quarterback, but Quillen might be the best
Quillen,
quarterback in the district.
No, he's not a Quillen.
I really like what
Quillen's the best quarterback in the district. We got 10:24 left in the first
playing
quarter.
At that next level. He's that good.
10:24 left in the second quarter. Almost halftime here in Newport News. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton. And Menchville's had a lot of coaches, folks. Nuttycombe and Jacob were there for several years. Then you got Pierce, Bryant, Mollenhauer, Byron, Moore, Tidwell, Savage. It's like a domino effect.
And when you don't have consistency with your coaches, when you go through that many changes, it's hard to get into a rhythm. It's hard to establish a culture. And I played for Coach Jacob back in the day, and I know that he had us consistent. You know, when you had players like David Mack and players like Robert Hunt, you had that structure, and we were able to make it to the postseason. But when you've got coaches coming in every other year or so, it's hard to get these kids.
Can't build a program that way.
Absolutely not.
And here's Butts, throws it, complete. Nice little play. And nice catch right there by number 33 for the Monarchs, respectively, Nicholas Webster. Heritage, they've had a lot of coaches too. Pierce, Newsom, Quillen, Garrett, Robinson, Tomlin, and Massenberg. While Woodside's had the consistency, only 2 coaches since 1996. And it's 10 minutes left even in quarter number 2. Heritage 14, Menchville 3.
And that's why Woodside's had that success. You talk about Danny Dodson being there for so many years. And, of course, you talk about, Dodson being there since 99, able to build that program up. He's had some up years, he's had some down years, but they've been consistent and they've been solid all of the time.
And a nice punt by the Monarchs. See, here's the thing. Menchville got that touchdown taken away, and at that time you can see some momentum changing. Heritage hasn't rebounded from it either.
No, Heritage has not capitalized on the touchdown being taken off the board. And you got to give credit to Menchville's special teams.
Because they could have easily given up.
This is a game of field position, Greg, and Menchville has done a good job on special teams of pinning Heritage back inside their own 20, and they haven't given them the greatest starting field position. And, of course, folks, this is our 25th year of exclusive prep sports on NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com, and we are so proud and so happy to bring it to you.
9:31 left And Menchville got a little swagger back, but, that 3 points is not the same as 6, and they desperately needed a touchdown.
Yeah, it's funny that you say they got their swagger back off of 3 points, but when you're a team and you only average 4 points a game, 3 points is pretty big. Like, they've had some chances here. If Menchville can continue to play solid on defense and stay in this game, hang around. If you're the underdog, sometimes that's all you got to do, Greg, is hang around, because that'll make the favorite start to get a little bit nervous.
Sometimes you win away from the field, not just on game day, but practice, weight room, conditioning, off-season, first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth quarter of the year, not the game.
Yep.
Before you even get to September.
And it's not just physical. It's a mental thing, too. It's conditioning. It's emotional. You got to have all those facets of the game going in the right direction to come out here and make some noise.
You can't say after week 1 you're already looking to basketball season already. That's not what you want to hear as a football player.
And part of that is
because the schoolmates, they attend the games too.
Exactly. That's a big part that I was going to bring up, Greg. School spirit. And I can tell you from having attended Menchville and still having friends that their kids are now at Menchville, the morale is not where it used to be. The school spirit, the support for the team is not where it used to be. And you know what can change that is winning. So I think if Menchville can find a way to win some games, maybe that school spirit will start to come back, Greg. And, of course, you are watching Prep Football on Cox Cable Channel 47 and Newport News, Verizon Fios 17, and NNPSTV.com. Don't forget our friends at Fazoli's.com, pizza and football.
Heritage on the move right there down the sideline. They've got daylight. It's like a track meet. Off to the races.
Wow.
Touchdown, Hurricanes.
Wow. Great play by the Heritage Hurricanes, and that is why you got to tackle, folks. Broken tackle.
And there you see right there.
And that was number 9. Just a nice little pass out to the flats. Here you're going to see just a pass out to the flats, Greg. He's going to get the play. Menchville had a chance to bring him down right there. He stays on his feet. Great balance. And there you go. Now he is off to the races. Fast as fast. You can't catch me. Run if you can. I'm the gingerbread man. He's going for the cookies, the Snickers, the peanuts, the pretzels, the popcorn, the Cracker Jacks. He don't care if he ever gets back. Great touchdown run by the Heritage Hurricanes.
And that was Brandon Jones, of course.
And Brandon Jones it was a simple play, Greg, too. Just a nice, quick pass. Menchville just didn't make the tackle. And there you see, blown play, and it results in a long touchdown run.
(21-3). Nate will give us the scoring recap in just a moment.
And, of course, started off first play of the game, Greg. Jeremiah Boyd passed to Amanye Watson, score 7-0. Then we saw a touchdown run by Shackelford to make it 14-0. Menchville had a touchdown but got it taken away, so then they had to settle for a field goal by Mike Catlett, making it 14-3. And as we just saw, a great play. Boyd with the nice little pass in the flats, broken tackle, and Jones was off to the races. Touchdown, and your current score is the Heritage Hurricanes 21, the Menchville Monarchs 3.
18-point deficit, 7:55 in the second quarter. Quarter 1 was zip by. Now they're in quarter 2 before you know it. And it's getting to a time where Menchville really needs to button up.
And that play was like a gut punch, Greg. That was a play. Menchville had the tackle but couldn't bring him down, and then they end up giving up a touchdown.
Fumble on special teams. Menchville gets it back. But Menchville right now is a little shaken right now. They really need to rebound here and get their focus back. And what have you seen so far early on? It's been really these 2 quarters have been kind of up and down, but Heritage really has been more alert to seize the opportunity.
Yeah, Menchville has had some bad luck, but you know what they say, Greg? Sometimes you make your own luck, and that's what we've seen tonight. Menchville's made some mistakes. They're missing tackles, and that's why they're down. Heritage, on the other hand, has come out, and they've been aggressive. They've been proactive. Like you always talk about, Greg, you can't just wait and react to stuff. You got to go out there and make plays, and that's what the Hurricanes have done so far.
And Menchville needs to make some big plays now. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. Here from Todd Stadium in Newport News, Virginia. 25th year of high school football on NMPS TV. Butts on the outside goes nowhere. Good defense there. Again, Heritage likes the 4-2-5 defense. Menchville, the power spread. Well, you know, both teams like to mix it up. Strength is the speed for Menchville, weakness the experience. And the same thing for Heritage. They're kind of young as well. Like we mentioned, you know, you look at Heritage last year, 11-2. They're 1-2 right now. More than likely they'll go 2-2. But like you're saying, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder.
They are. You know, we mentioned both teams are young, but Heritage is out here like that Beyonce song. I might be young, but I'm ready. And that's what they're trying to show right now, that they are ready to step up and not just beat the Menchvilles, but they want to step up and compete with the Woodsides and maybe even with the Hamptons and the Phoebuses of this district. It's a tough task, but we'll see if they can do it.
It's almost like keeping up with Hampton and Phoebus.
And it's always those Hampton schools. They set the bar in the district. It's
and
been
they're all
that way.
good. Bethel, Kickingham, they're all, even Bethel has struggled. They're a good team.
I'm telling you, go back to when I was in high school, go back to the 80s, go back to the 70s. Hampton has set the tone, and there's been times when, you know, you had a school like a Woodside or a school like a Heritage in 2000 step up and make some noise. But for the most part, we've been looking up at some of those Hampton schools.
And Bethel's got a great coach, and William Beverly played for Coach Kaz. Learned from Kaz, who was the head coach of Bethel from 74 to 98. And look for Bethel to really improve as time goes on. Really excited that William Beverly is the coach of the Bruins. Butts goes nowhere at the 30. Again, we mentioned Menchville's last postseason was 93. And Nate mentioned Heritage losing to Monarchs last year in the postseason. Their key players this year are Boyd, Martin, Shackelford.
Yeah, Heritage had a great run in the postseason last year. Unfortunately, like you said, it did come to an end against Monarchs, but that's something that these players can build on. That's a memory that they'll have. It's something that they can build off of and remember. Menchville, on the other hand, they don't have those type of memories. They don't have those type of experiences to build on. So we'll see if Coach Savage can get these guys ready. You know, much like I know, Greg, you and I both are wrestling fans. We'll see if Coach Ray Savage can be like the Macho Man Randy Savage and get these boys hyped up.
Remember Gene Ole Anderson, and Ricky
Boy,
Steamboat,
yeah,
the old school wrestlers.
There you go.
6:41 left till intermission. 21-3 Heritage on this showcase event presented by Fazoli's.com Pizza and Football. Again, Sammy Price is up in the booth with us tonight, hanging out.
You know it's a big event in Newport News when Sam Price shows up. You know, you get all the luminaries and celebrities coming out here tonight.
Yeah, Sam said the only way you're going to get him to a reunion is if you pay him the big bucks. 6:41 left.
Yeah, always good
Sam
to see
had his
Sam.
birthday recently too.
Saw Mike earlier. Always good to see those guys.
There's a pass as well, incomplete. But see, what you're seeing now is Heritage working on their kinks now. They've got an 18-point lead, and they know they got a long test ahead with several difficult teams. You want to get this win, but you want to work on your weaknesses as well. That's the mark of a good team. But like a lot of Newport News teams have not done this year, they haven't closed the deal.
No, and it's not always how you start, Greg. Sometimes it's about how you finish, how you close out a game. And like you mentioned, they've got some tough tasks ahead of them. You talk about Bethel, you talk about Phoebus, you talk about ending the year at Woodside. Those are some pretty tough games on the horizon for the Heritage Hurricanes.
That's right, Bethel and Denby, Phoebus, Gloucester, Kickingham, Woodside for Heritage. And for the Menchville Monarchs, they've got Denby and Warwick, which are 2 winnable games, in Gloucester 3. Then they got Bethel, Hampton, Kickingham. Like we said, folks, after tonight, 40% of the season is done. 40% of the season
Hard
is
to
done.
believe.
Wow. Another bomb. Good stop from Menchville to 20. Who stops them butts? And, you and I have talked about that a lot. When it'll be nice to a point where these high school kids don't have to go both ways. Replay again, and they're exhausted on defense.
Yep, and speaking of going both ways, there is only one way that the Heritage Hurricanes offense is going, and that is forward. Just a deep pass, and wide open.
But look at the tackle is more evident of Butts is exhausted.
Yeah.
It's the second quarter. Because he's playing, but I'm not a big believer in these kids going both ways. They don't do it in college.
Yeah.
They don't do it in the NFL.
Well, especially the quarterback. Like, I think if you're if you're a running back and you play linebacker, that's one thing. But the quarterback shouldn't be out there having to make tackles because you are the most important person on that offense. As we saw right there, Butts just was not in a position to make that play.
If we relate to it in business terms, it's like working an 8-hour shift without a lunch break.
Yeah. And not just that, like you said, going to that quarterback, it'd be like the president of the company working an 8-hour shift, not taking a lunch break, and then turning around and going to work on the floor.
I'm not a firm believer in going both ways, just not, other than maybe the kicker punting as well.
Yeah.
On special teams.
I mean, that's a different story, but
right.
Yeah.
But it's fatigue. I mean, you are fatigued. And I think the Hampton schools have a little bit more depth over the years.
Well, that's part of the problem with Menchville. We going back to talking about the morale, the school spirit.
If we can get a shot, folks, if the director can get a shot of the field and the players of Menchville, you can literally count how many kids are on the sideline for Menchville, and that's because they don't have the roster or the depth or the experience.
And like we said, when the students aren't excited about the football team, they're not going to go out for the football team. So your roster is smaller than it usually would be.
Heritage on the ground in the gray uniforms. Again, Heritage likes the spread offense. Menchville countering with the 4-3 defense. Heritage likes the 4-2-5 defense. Their strength is the offense. Weakness is they're young. Last postseason was 2014 for George Massenberg's squad. They lost to Monarchs in the postseason. And the Hurricanes are averaging 18 on offense, giving up 38 on defense. A lot of that was to Lake Taylor. And they skedaddle again for 6 points. Heritage is trying to get to 2-2 before the first and second quarter are done. Because we're not even in intermission yet, folks.
Mama, there goes that man again, just right up the middle. It's if you're Menchville, you're feeling demoralized right now. That's just the best way to put it. Menchville is feeling demoralized. Menchville is just feeling demoralized right now. And Heritage, after a shaky couple of offensive series in the second half, they picked up right where they left off.
They got 2. That was just too easy.
Boyd doing a good job orchestrating this offense and, like you said, getting that 2-point conversion.
And it's sad to see what's going on with Metro right now. They really look defeated already.
And they were right there. That's the sad part, Greg. They were so close in that first half to turning the corner, making
it
something happen.
14-7. And that 14-3 has now made it to 29-3.
The touchdown was taken off the board. Then you had that missed tackle that led to that long touchdown run.
And the big plays.
When you give up big plays, more often than not, you're going to end up losing the football game. And this is no position that the Menchville Monarchs want to be in right now. 29-3 is your score. Heritage Hurricanes on top. Heritage Hurricanes are on top right now.
Seen a lot of different players getting points here tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's what you want to see, a balanced offense. Earlier we saw Shackelford running for a score. We've seen Watson catch a pass for a score. We've seen Jones catch a pass for a score. So a lot of variety that has been shown by the Heritage Hurricanes offense tonight, and Menchville still does not have the answer.
29-3, 5:39 left in quarter number 2.
Menchville kind of looking like, remember the old saying by the late, great Rowdy Roddy Piper, just when you think you've got all the answers, I change all the questions. Heritage is changing the questions up tonight.
And they fumble on special teams, and right now Menchville's really, really rattled.
It's that psychological beating, Greg. They're on the ropes now.
It's like looking at the cookie jar with no cookies in it.
Not only do they not have cookies, they don't have milk, they don't have bread, they don't have cheese. They got some water in the fridge. That's about it. Water and butter.
My godmother, she loved her butter, though. Oh, my goodness. 29-3. It's just getting worse and worse for the Monarchs. And Ray Savage, again, who played for Warwick High School under Bill Lyons, played for George Welsh at Virginia.
Let's go, guys. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's go. Hey, yo.
5:35 left. And if you fumble on special teams, that's like you get deflated on offense and defense and special teams. That was your only saving grace.
Yeah, it's almost like if you had a football, Greg, and somebody took the air out of it. Shout out to Tom Brady, who I'm sure is watching on NNPSTV.com. What did you make all that stuff over the summer, Greg? All that Deflategate nonsense.
It took away from the fun. It really did. I think people love the games. They like the games on TV.
Yep.
Football is made for TV.
We don't want to be in nonsense, all these court cases and all this nonsense. No, just go out there and play football.
There's no way he personally deflated every football himself. They would have won it with hard or soft.
And he played better with the balls that were inflated.
And they're a great team. They don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But the perception is they're looking for an edge. Another bomb by Heritage, way overthrown that time.
Menchville needs an edge right now. Because Heritage has been having their way with Menchville all game long. And it all goes back, I think, Greg, and I hate to make such a big deal out of it, but we keep going back to that touchdown being taken off the board.
Right.
I think it's a psychological advantage that Heritage was given right there. Menchville had their hopes and dreams right there. They finally scored, and then it was taken away.
And if this were a movie or a theme, the theme is, again, flags all over the place. Menchville really struggling, looking for a win, desperately looking for a win. Heritage, coming with a losing record, has that chip on their shoulder, and they're just trying to get to 500.
And I think the difference is in these two teams, Greg, is both of them have losing records, but at least Heritage knows how to win.
Right.
Menchville, on the other hand, does not have that winning pedigree, that winning culture, so they don't have anything to pull from when they get behind like this.
DeAndre Misgerald, take it away.
I'm DeAndre Foster of NNPS TV. I'm here with Shamika Gerald, the principal of Heritage High School. So how are things going at Heritage High School, Ms. Gerald?
Everything is going great at Heritage. The first 2 weeks of school have been absolutely amazing. We've had the Southeast End Parade last weekend that featured our marching band and our wonderful cheerleaders. So we're really having a great start to our year.
So what do you expect from your football team this year?
I expect that we win it all.
Okay. And what wonderful things are going on at Heritage High School this year?
Well, on top of having gains in all the academic areas, we're really working to improve our youth development numbers, so we have more kids involved in sports, athletics, especially cheering, and we also have a lot of students participating in more clubs and activities, so you can expect great things from the Heritage High School Hurricanes this year.
Well, Ms. Gerald, thank you for your time, and back to you, Greg and Nate.
Bye!
And they're going to call it a touchdown.
Wow.
But flags all over the place. Nice interview there as well. Right in time for the touchdown. What else?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Always great to hear from Principal Gerald and just the excitement that they had on the sideline.
It'll be taken back. That's several touchdowns now taken back. That does not count. Instant replay. Love those graphics.
All right, it doesn't count, Greg, on the scoreboard, but I'm sure it counts in the morale scoreboard because Heritage, once again, over the top, finding a way to get on top of Menchville. It doesn't count on the scoreboards, but you can't unsee that if you're Menchville. You can't unsee the way that they just are running all over top of you today. They've got to find a way to stop this onslaught.
In the Olympics, in the track ain't until next year. But the track meet started early in the early part of the football season here tonight. Now, remember, this is a track field, too.
Yep.
And Heritage is doing their best impersonation to make this a track meet.
It's like Menchville is looking up and they see nothing but LaShawn Merritt and Usain Bolt and Tyson Gaze out there on the field just running past them.
And my old buddy Carl Lewis.
Carl Lewis. As long as he doesn't sing the national anthem, we're good.
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens, yep. There's Flo Joe.
That's right. That's way overthrown. Heritage is like going to the buffet table looking for everything.
Well, that's the thing now. Early in the game, we saw Heritage start to take a slower approach. They were running the ball a little bit more. Now they're just going out there looking for the long bomb because they know that Menchville's pass defense is not going to be able to stop them.
29-3, 4:42 left till intermission. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton as well. Fazoli's.com, pizza and football. And you see injuries play a big part in college football, too, with Virginia Tech's quarterback, Notre Dame's quarterback. The injuries are always Ohio State shuffling quarterbacks.
Yep.
It's really going to come down to in that Final Four again.
And I know as an Ohio State fan, you got to be happy with the embarrassment of riches that your school has with those quarterbacks.
In Braxton.
Yeah, some schools don't even have one quarterback, and you got three.
Right. And one of the better ones is a receiver
He's a
sometimes.
wide receiver, yes.
The crowd enjoying the game. Of course, you can watch all the replays on Wednesday and Friday nights at 7. Punt. Oh, block punt. Block punt. Excellent special teams by the Monarchs, but they need more of that on offense and defense as well.
Once again, the Menchville special teams coming up big. If you think about it, between the field goals, some of those punts we've seen, and the block punt right there, the special teams unit has been the only unit that has consistently shown up for the Menchville Monarchs tonight, folks. And, of course, you are watching Prep Football on Cox Cable Channel 47 in Newport News, Verizon Fios 17, and NNPSTV.com.
To get a safety out of it. So that's 5 points. So you see the Menchville Monarchs in the white uniforms on the sideline there. Nate, they've already equaled more than their average of this year. They're averaging 4 points a game. Now they got 5.
Menchville has passed that 4-point threshold. I'm sure they wish they had scored a few more points, but 5's better than 3, and it is now 29-5 advantage Hurricanes.
Heritage cheerleaders.
Getting the crowd hyped here tonight. Is that the cake and the ice cream, or is that the Nene, or is that the Quan? Which one is that?
Dougie Fresh.
Teach me how to Dougie. Are people still doing the Dougie, Greg?
Don't ask me, Nate. 29-5. You're talking to a guy who used to love Dougie Fresh and the Fat Boys.
Nothing like that
356.
classic old school rap.
Sugar Hill Gang. Little George Benson in there.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie all night long. And Heritage has been scoring all night long.
In Menchville, they're all about special teams. But you need more than just special teams. Here come the Monarchs. Can they capitalize on the safety? They get across the 50. Now, this is where you want to get a touchdown going into the locker room.
Yep. Basically, if you're Menchville right now, you want to do two things on this offensive drive. You want to score, and you want to run that clock because you don't want to give Heritage a chance to score with any time left on the clock.
The problem with Heritage is going for those deep plays, and they got a little lackadaisical, made some errors on special teams. Well, they need to milk the clock because they're up by, 29-5. Menchville with the ball left to right. We'll see what Butts can do on offense. Menchville likes the power spread offense coached by Ray Savage. Menchville's had great players in the past like Al Toon and Rodney Womble and Billy Wright, with David Macklin and Robert Hunt over the years. And the Monarchs keep it on the ground. Mentioned Nuttycombe and Jacob were there from 1970 through 97. Then Pierce in 98 and 99. Then Bryant, Mollenhauer, Byron, Moore, Tidwell, Savage. I mean, just a domino effect. We like the high schools with no names in jerseys. Glad to see Penn State back with no names on their jerseys.
Yeah, Penn State trying to make that transition now. Bill O'Brien no longer at the university, now with the Houston Texans. And I'm interested to see how they can progress during this season. They've got one of the most hyped quarterbacks coming into the season. But it'll be interesting to see if they can get some traction going.
Now, if you're Menchville, you're down 29-5. You only got 3:09 left to intermission. Do you go for the big play or you just try to get some, forward momentum. I mean, you want to score some points too.
Yeah, you want to score some points, but you don't want to get reckless because if Menchville makes a mistake, we've seen how Heritage can capitalize with those quick strikes, those deep bombs. So if I'm Menchville, I want to try to make some plays, get some forward momentum going, see if I can go for a deep shot every now and then, but you don't want to get too reckless.
And we want to thank Sammy Price for doing security up here tonight. Got our dividers up here again. Great dividers. And, of course, Fazoli's.com, pizza and football.
That's right. And, of course, don't forget to tweet at Greg Bick and at Nate Mosaic so you can see us on Twitter and let us know what you think about the game.
Twitter's more instant.
Twitter is more instant.
Facebook is more about happy birthday.
Facebook is about, a little bit more personal, but Twitter connects you quicker. And it also allows you to talk to, people that you never would be able to talk to on Facebook, like celebrities, like athletes.
We've got a platform on TV and radio while the average fan does not. So they look to us to say something.
Yep.
Because they know who we are.
And that's the beauty of Twitter. You can.
We've got the platform to promote it.
Our listeners can talk to us. We can talk to. I got into a conversation with Stephen A. Smith the other day.
We need to get Mr. Price on Twitter.
That's going to be a challenge.
Right. Accomplished musician in Ray Price. Love that. Love the uniforms and the helmets. Nice shot of the helmet there.
See if we
I kind of like Menchville's uniform. They keep it simple. White and purple, white and white. Well, Penn State, their idea was all white and white, or blue and white. The first thing you see as an alumni or fan is the uniform.
Yep. That is the representation of the university. And, much like Menchville here, those uniforms are representing the school, the classic purple, gold, and white. Those colors just stand out. Unfortunately, they haven't been winning much as of late, but, the uniforms still look good.
And like you said earlier, it does affect the attendance, the morale, the school spirit, homecoming, cookouts. Social events.
You look at the roster, Greg. I was looking at the roster for the Monarchs earlier, and they've only got about 32 kids on the roster this season, and I don't even know if all 32 have dressed tonight. And that just speaks to this is a program that's constantly in a state of confusion, a state of flux.
It's evolving. Both teams are. Even Heritage is evolving.
But I do think that even though the wins aren't there yet, I do think Coach Savage is a good choice to kind of take this team and lead them into a new culture, as we see Coach Massenberg right there. He has certainly changed the culture of Heritage.
Played under Mike Smith, who's won multiple state championships with Hampton.
But it also takes patience, though, Greg, because if you look at Coach Massenberg, he didn't change his team overnight.
No, it was very difficult at first, but he slowly got into the postseason.
Yep.
But he doesn't want to go backwards this year either. Butts across the 50. Butts is still on his feet. Nice, biggest play for Menchville tonight. Right there by number 11, Shamar Butts, the junior.
Great job by Shamar Butts right there.
But of course.
Don't mind me for butting in. He does a great job of getting downfield. And the thing I like, Greg, he had his eyes looking forward, seeing if he could make a pass. And when he realized that
good vision across the field.
When he realized the receivers were covered, he just tucked it away, and he held it. He held it securely, not out there like a loaf of bread. Great job by Shamar Butts.
Mentioned the principal for Heritage, Shamika Gerald. For Menchville, Mr. Surrey.
Flags on the field after that run by
Athletic director for Heritage, Dwayne Peters. For Menchville, Greg Henderson, the former basketball coach. (29-5) is the score. 2:08 till intermission. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us and our entire crew. For more, log on to nnpstv.com, at Greg Bick on Twitter. That's GREGBIC and N8MOZAIK. Nate, I'm always giving you a hard time about your Twitter handle. I know you're a musician, but Twitter is supposed to be easy. You made it more difficult.
I got to be fancy with my Twitter handle, Greg.
That's the high maintenance announcers that we are.
I got to be like Prince.
Right. Is he on Twitter?
Prince is on Twitter.
Really? Cool.
And he is very unique as you.
How about any of the Jacksons?
I believe Janet's on Twitter.
Okay.
Janet's on Twitter. I don't know if any of the other Jacksons are, but I know Janet's on Twitter. And she'll be in Hampton Roads.
How about the girl
soon.
that sang Centipede, the older Jackson
Oh,
girl?
Ribby.
Yeah.
Ribby. I don't know if Ribby's on Twitter. I do know Lionel Richie is on Twitter though.
Yeah, I think he had a conversation with his daughter about those reality shows quite early.
Yeah, she is Nicole Richie. She is something else.
But she's calmed down. She's not like the Kardashians, of course.
Don't get me started, Greg. Don't.
Nate's favorite reality show, folks. 29-5. Now Menchville's in the red zone, but the time is starting to tick.
Yeah, they've got to be smart though. They don't want to take any unnecessary risk because even if you get bogged down here, you can still go for the field goal.
Yeah, you want to at least get at least 3 out of here.
Yep. You don't want to come away empty-handed. As you see a player down now.
And we mentioned that he's really shaken up. This kid is really hurt. He is shaking that leg. And that's one thing we talk about all the time, folks, is how dangerous this sport is. These are young kids who wake up early in the morning, start their routine, give it their all, where a lot of their classmates are just relaxing on Friday night.
Yep.
These kids are playing football, and this is tackle football, not two-hand touch or flag football. There's
You've
number
also gotta
75
stay,
for
Greg.
Heritage, and that was Jerry Green.
They've got
Fans right
to
there.
stay hydrated because you can get cramped up out here. The weather's starting to change a little bit. Anything can happen out there, and people forget, man. These are young men out there, and it is a tribute to them. Just the hard work and dedication that goes into making it out there on the field. And even if Menchville hasn't won a game all season, you can't take away from the effort of these kids.
There you see the band right there as well. 29-5, 141 left to intermission.
That was number 5, Torrey Guilford, who is being helped off the field now.
And really, you want to go error-free if you can. But, the bottom line is, no matter how pretty or ugly it is, you get the W, that's all you're going to remember.
Hey, it's called winning ugly for a reason, Greg. As long as you get that W, that's all that matters. 10 years from now, people aren't going to remember how the game played out. They're just going to remember, did you win or did you lose?
Butts, plenty of daylight. Butts has got some daylight, but he's getting in trouble. And that's what we said they don't want to happen. Go backwards or get a penalty. He was pushed so far back, he almost got out of the red zone.
And that is just a mistake right there by the young man, Shamar Butts. You've got to throw that ball away. You cannot take the loss of yardage on that play because you move yourself out of scoring range.
And you take away the momentum.
You take away the momentum, you move yourself out of scoring range, and that is not what Menchville needed right there. Butts has got to be a little bit smarter about that and get rid of the football if he didn't have a clear-cut play.
Always competitive. Menchville is a 5-18. Heritage, of course, is a 4-18. And you've seen in these divisions, which are kind of weak, that losing records you can still get in the postseason, which to me doesn't help in the future as far as business world. Oh, I can go mediocre in sales and still get my budget.
Yeah.
Butts again. This time he's going forward. And really, just back to the 20 again. But again, you're only talking less than 40 seconds left till intermission.
Yeah,
Time is ticking.
Mitchell's got to get lined up quickly here. Good job by Butts recovering a lot of that yardage that he lost.
Take a look at it again, folks, from Menchville's side.
And here you're going to see Butts gets the snap. Defense is charging hard at him, but he's going to make that corner. Good job. You see him still looking downfield, looking for the pass. Does a nice job. He's able to run and picks up some good yardage.
It almost reminds you of you're like in an island versus, a lot of Heritage players. It's one on the entire team. That's difficult.
No,
that's exhausting.
That's not going to work. And there you see in the background the kicker getting warmed up. He might be called on into duty here.
And if you put it in basketball terms, it's like you take away the 4 other players. You like to shoot, go for it, but you're not going to get any help.
Well, see, that's the other thing. They're more than happy to allow Butts to pick up that yardage.
Shot right there, folks, tells the whole story. All the depth that Heritage has got. You put it on the reverse side to Menchville.
Heritage literally has, it looks like, twice as many players dressed out tonight than the on the
maybe
Menchville
3
Monarchs
times.
sideline.
Literally, if you look at the Menchville side, you can count how many white jerseys are over there. With 28 seconds left.
Almost like that movie 300 where you had the Spartan army going up against the vast army.
Or Star Wars coming up.
I knew you were going to get to Star Wars at some point tonight.
Yoda would say clouded future Menchville has.
Are you excited for that one? They're bringing everybody back?
Absolutely. Don't like the timing of it during Christmas. I think it should have come out already.
Yeah.
It's almost too much hype.
We'll see if it'll be Christmas for Menchville on this drive.
Here comes Butts in the end zone. Almost an interception by number 3, Shedrick Washington.
Washington did a great job to break up that pass right there. A little bit risky. And again, it's decision making, like we said with Butts
This
earlier.
ain't no debate tonight, though.
I'm telling you what, Butts would not get elected with that pass right there. I can tell you that. He would not get the proper votes on that pass.
Well, speaking of election, we did have one of the former football coaches, B2, running for city council. And didn't quite work out, but it gave him some confidence.
Yeah, and experience. I think like his journey in the world of politics is not finished yet, and I think that young man is going to do a lot of great things for this city.
And we've got 22 seconds left. Heritage up by 24, 29-5. At this point, both teams just want to go into the locker room, try to regroup a little bit, and try to reset a little bit, get your boundaries going. We mentioned already Menchville's 0-3, Heritage 1-2. Both teams are a work in progress. And this game has been sloppy so far.
This game has been a little raggedy. And you talk about missed opportunities, Greg. Menchville had a chance to at least come out of there with 3 points, but because of the loss of yardage and some of the plays, they moved themselves out of field goal range and weren't able to come away with any points. And now Heritage
got
has the ball back.
Yep. Draw play, smart play, and Menchville right now is just deflated. No big deal for some teams, maybe if they were close, like if Phoebus playing a Hampton or a Bethel. But with Menchville, every point counts.
Every point counts. There are no easy games if you're the Menchville Monarchs. You are the easy game on everybody else's schedule, and so you've got to come out each game and play like it's the most important game on the schedule.
Let's take a look at it again. Love this graphic here, folks.
And here you see, like you said, Greg, just a real simple draw play up the middle. And look at the blocking up front. It's like a big old convoy moving down the highway.
It's like those 18-wheelers pushing off a Volkswagen.
Great run by the Heritage Hurricanes. And like you said, even though they come in with a losing record, Greg, this is a solid team. They just have got to figure out a way to get more consistency.
It's constantly Menchville looking through that rearview mirror, though. Objects are closer than they appear.
I was going to say, Menchville might need to turn on the off-ramp for a little while, get themselves together.
Or go to a rest stop. they need to go to a rest stop tonight.
They'll have a rest stop in about 13 seconds.
I'm a huge fan of rest stops, by the way. Take a nap there all the time.
You take a nap. You don't want to drive tired.
No. 13 seconds left. Heritage in the shotgun, flags all over the place. And that's where I disagree with Massenberg. He should just down the ball.
Take the knee.
Take a knee. You're up by 24. Let's regroup here. Again, we want to thank Sam Price for doing security tonight. Sam's got more jobs than you've had, Nate.
I'm telling you what, Sam Price is a busy man, ladies and gentlemen. It's always good to have Sam Price in the booth.
Sam's like saying, I don't want my alumni class trying to find me. Well, they found him now. Heritage, of course, going back to pass. Oh, that would have been a big pick six there. The lottery almost happened for Menchville, but no dice. With 6 seconds left. 6 seconds.
6 seconds, Dougie Fresh, you're on. We'll see now if Coach Massenberg decides to take that knee, because that pass was a little bit risky on the Heritage side. They cannot afford an interception, even though they're up big. If you give Menchville an interception, possibly a pick six, the momentum that they go to with the locker room
supersedes the first half.
They go to the locker room with some huge momentum.
Hurricanes deep. Way overthrown. And that's halftime, folks. Wow. It is halftime with the score. The Hurricanes dominating Menchville. The Heritage is, quote-unquote, the home team, 29-5. We'll take a break. We'll be back after these messages. All right, it's halftime here in Newport News, Virginia. We're at Todd Stadium in Newport News. Greg Bicoveros, Nate Milton, all in high school football, powered by Fazoli's.com. With the score, it is Heritage 29, Menchville 5. Enjoy the band and the halftime festivities, folks.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for the halftime show. At this time, we would like to present to you the Heritage High School Marching Storm from Newport News, Virginia. The Marching Storm is under the direction of Stephen Arrington, Director of Band, Assistant Director Jason Davis, and drum majors Terrell Carroll and Susanya Patterson. Despite the bad weather in our forecast, never fear, the Marching Storm is here and excited to present for your musical enjoyment some hip-hop, soul, and R&B hits from past and present. Let the show begin. Let's enjoy the sounds of Adele's debut album, 19. The name of the tune, Right as Rain.
What they running for?
How are y'all? Good. Y'all behaving?
Yeah. No.
I need to say that.
You moved to Albany.
Down here.
Oh, no, that's me. Mine was that. Oh, no, yeah. 10th grade. What's 10th grade?
Dr. Chapman.
Yeah, her.
Let's get it.
They keep doing this.
Storm coming at you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention, please. If I could draw your attention to midfield on the track on the home side of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is middle school night, and on the field we have representatives from Huntington Middle School, Crittenton Middle School, and the Achievable Dream. If you could please give them a round of applause for attending our high school game tonight.
Aviation Academy offers a variety of hands-on experiences. Chooses select students to create a great small community. Is located at an airport for applied learning. And is career-oriented for students who are going to pursue aviation in their future. For more information, please contact the Aviation Academy at 757-886-2745.
Here at the Peninsula SPCA, there are many ways to help out the animals in the community. There is pet adoption, foster care, volunteer work, and even a petting zoo. All these animals need as much help as they can get, and you can be there for them to give them that help. For more information, visit peninsulaspca.org.
Research shows that reading aloud is the single most important thing you can do to help a child prepare for reading and learning. More than 15% of young children, 3.1 million, are read to by family members fewer than 3 times a week. Only 48% of young children in this country are read to each day. Is 15 minutes enough to make a difference?
Yes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a scientist. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer.
Our younger students have the right idea. Today's leading careers are involved in science, technology, engineering, and math. Newport News Public Schools has embarked on an aggressive STEM education initiative that prepares students to take full advantage of STEM opportunities in higher education and career fields. So, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Ultimate Frisbee is a team sport in which players seek to score points by passing a Frisbee to a teammate over the opposing team's goal line.
Like at least two full pieces, I think.
All right.
For more information, contact your local recreation center.
And it's halftime, 29-5 Heritage over Menchville. Greg Bickaveras, Nate Milton, our 25th year of high school sports. And Nate, really, it's still anybody's ball game, but Menchville just doesn't seem like they have the firepower to compete with this Heritage team.
No, and not only does Menchville not have the firepower, Greg, but they've made too many mistakes. We've seen some penalties. We saw a touchdown early on that was taken off the board. So things just haven't gone the Monarchs' way.
And with only 24 minutes left, they're going to need some big plays, and every play is going to count now.
Not just on offense, but on defense as well. They not only have to score, but they have to find a way to stop this explosive offense with quarterback Jeremiah Boyd and these Heritage Hurricanes.
Always exciting for game one of our football season.
Yes, it's a great way to kick things off. Maybe not so great for the Menchville Monarch fans at home watching this thing, but I'm expecting a great second half of football here, folks.
Nate, go ahead and give us the scoring recap.
All right, things started off fast and furious. Somebody called Vin Diesel. First play of the game, Boyd with a pass to Amanye Watson. 7-0 was the score, followed by a TD run by Shackelford, and Menchville followed that up with a touchdown like we mentioned, Greg, but it was taken off the board, and they had to settle for a field goal. Your score at the end of the first quarter was 14-3 Heritage. In the second quarter, we saw a pass from Boyd to Brandon Jones. We saw a touchdown run from Trevon Facey. We saw a two-point conversion following that touchdown, and then finally Menchville was able to get some more points with a block punt for a safety. Your score at the half, Heritage 29, the Menchville Monarchs 5.
And of course, you still have 24 minutes left, but like we mentioned, you're going to have to make a big play. You're going to have to create some turnovers, and really you have to get the entire team involved because you can't take any possession for granted when you're down by 24 points.
No, and they've got to play smart, Greg. I've watched football for a lot of years. I played football in high school, and I don't think there's a play in the playbook where you can score 29 points on one play. So they've got to work things here slow and safe. That's how you win the race, slow and steady. And we'll see if Menchville can just put one foot in front of the other, Greg, and find a way to score and get things going in the right direction.
We mentioned some of the key players for the 10 schools on the peninsula. Let's talk about the coaches as well. From Menchville, Ray Savage, Warwick, of course, Corey Hairston, Woodside, Danny Dotson, Bethel, of course, William Beverly, Denby, Marcellus Harris, Gloucester, Brandon Kelly, Hampton, Mike Smith, Heritage, George Massenberg, Phoebus, Jeremy Blunt, Kickitan, Alonzo Coley. Round out the 10, a lot of veteran coaches, especially when you look at Mike Smith and Danny Dotson.
Yeah, Mike Smith, the dean of the Peninsula District, but Danny Dotson, the dean of Newport News coaches.
All right, we mentioned Fazoli's.com, pizza and football.
And there you see, folks, Fazoli's on Jefferson Avenue in Newport News, Virginia. Give them a call, 757-596-4324. And, of course, you can go to Fazoli's.com. They feed our crew. Let them feed yours.
And they got great subs, too.
Great subs, great pizza. Like Fazoli's it's a great source of carbohydrates, Greg.
Right.
That'll give you that energy to stay up all night long. Watch a great football game.
Again, I want to thank Sam Price for security up here as well. And we want to mention, too, where they're located at. They're not in any of the Port Works, tech centers, or city centers. They're standing alone.
Yep.
Like, look, we got good food here.
Yep, and that's nothing against
all the centers.
Thoughts, but, it's great that Fazoli's has the history. They're a part of the community. They've been here back when I was in high school, Greg. Fazoli's has been around, and they're a great part of the community, and it's great that they were able to give us a great meal tonight. So, again, go to Fazoli's.com. They got football on lock. They got the pizza on lock. Enjoy your night. Presented by Fazoli's.com.
We want to see some good football here. Error-free football if we can.
There we go. And we got some free entertainment. I don't know what they got going on right there, folks.
Step show.
That is a nice step show right there. Can you get out there and do some moves, Greg?
No, but I remember the late Cranston Calhoun. Special teams right here by Menchville would break dance back in the day. He would get out of his car and break dance on Warwick Boulevard. That's crazy, but he did it.
Hey,
you know the legend of Cranston Calhoun.
I mean, if you're Cranston Calhoun, you got to put on a show wherever you go.
He sure did.
I want to see Greg Bickaveras get out there and start stepping.
Too many camera phones.
Too many camera phones? It'd be a YouTube sensation overnight.
That's okay. 29-5. Menchville trailing They've got the football. Really, it's all been about one player from Menchville. We've called his name the entire night, Shamar Butts.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more help. Malik
Yeah.
Dixon has not been giving him a lot of support. The offense has changed, though, so we'll see.
Oh, great play right there. Deflected off one receiver into the hands of another Menchville player, number 84, Luke Wells. Not Luke Skywalker, but Luke Wells. Take a look at it again,
Great job by
folks.
Wells. We were just talking about it. Butts needing a little bit of help, needing somebody to step up for him. There you see the throw, the pass, tips off of one player's fingers, almost like a volleyball set, and landed in the hands of Luke Wells. Great job. Luke used the force on that one, Greg. He said, do or not do. There is no try.
$11:44 left in quarter number 3. Still, one thing leads to another. Menchville gets big plays superseded, penalties superseded, points taken off the board. When you're a young team and you're looking for confidence, and then you get forward momentum taking back, it does nothing but deflate your confidence, because you might not win the game, but these are the little confidence steps you want to get going into next week.
And part of the issue is, like we said, Greg, Menchville, the inconsistency and the constant changes at the coaching position, they have not been able to establish a culture of winning. So they don't know how to win. They don't know how to turn things around, and it's going to take some time. You know, they've been their own worst enemy tonight.
11:44. We said we're always vulnerable for the teams early on in the quarters. And Menchville keeps it on the ground. Really, it's just been one player for Menchville. It's been the Shamar Butts show.
And you talk about, him needing some help. We saw Luke Wells with the reception earlier. Malik Dixon, the senior, was the leading rusher for the team last year, ran for 488 yards, including one touchdown on the ground. But unfortunately, they changed from that veer offense to the spread offense, and he's had a little bit of an issue trying to find his way with this new offense.
Great graphics by the crew. Don't forget we got the report card coming up in the fourth quarter, as well as the atmosphere. Remember, that's going to be a new feature this year, the atmosphere.
First report
Nate
card
will give
of
us
the
a grade on
season
the atmosphere,
and
too,
the atmosphere.
as well as the crew list.
Yep.
So we got the atmosphere, we got the report card, and the crew list coming up in the fourth quarter. That might be more of a highlight than the game tonight.
Very well may be. First report card of the year, like you mentioned, the atmosphere. And, of course, we got to give a shout-out to our student crew here tonight.
It's just like we got that from the Menchville Warwick basketball game this past winter, or like when you go to a restaurant. The food can be good, but if there ain't no atmosphere, you're not going back.
Yep.
You see number 6 there for Menchville, Malik Dixon.
And like we mentioned, Dixon, one of the seniors on this team, but he's been around, but it's a new offense for him too. So it's like not only do you have underclassmen learning this offense, you've got your senior leaders learning this offense too, and sometimes that can lead to a slow start out of the blocks. Now you see Coach Massenberg.
We'll see if we can get a shot of Ray Savage, the Menchville coach, too. He's way across the sideline. Butts throws it deep, right into a Heritage hands, interception, fumble. And Menchville gets it back, and that's just sloppy football right there.
Oh, man, Menchville.
Really, that's how Menchville's going to have to get some type of break there.
That might have been the greatest offensive play for Menchville tonight.
That they didn't plan.
Almost like Butts meant to do that.
But, of course.
He used the force. Here we're going to see Butts dropping back to pass.
Well, you thought he was. Well, regardless, 10:33 left.
We saw the interception, and then following the interception on the run back, there was a fumble, and now Heritage.
And you have to protect the football. When you're Heritage, you make an interception, you got to protect the football.
Yeah, because that could have been the backbreaker right there for Menchville.
Because Hampton and Phoebus aren't as forgiving as Menchville is.
No, they are not. Not even Hampton and Phoebus. Woodside is a tough team. You talk about
Kickingham, Bethel.
Kickingham. You're not going to be able to make these type of mental errors when you get up against some stiffer competition.
Fans enjoying the game, having a great time. We mentioned the oldest school in Newport News, of course, Warwick. We're going to see them soon. Then Denby. Then Menchville. Heritage and Woodside both started in the fall of '96. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it is hard to believe. Almost 20 years of those schools. Next year will be the 20th anniversary of Heritage in Woodside. It's unbelievable.
Actually, this is the 20th school year of them. This is the beginning of the 20th school year.
Unbelievable. Seems like only yesterday when they opened up. My sister went to Woodside, so shout out to my sister and my nieces who are watching on nnpstv.com down in Carolina. We got Mike Price on camera for us, so again, the influence of the Prices well felt. Saw the next generation of Prices here at the game tonight. I wonder how long it will be before they start running the
truck. And as we always say, the Price is right. Michelle and Elijah. Michelle went to Menchville. I'm not sure if she's claiming that tonight, though.
You say she's not going to claim it tonight.
And one thing about her, she can say all the schools are hers now, which is good. Kind of like I do. What school did you go to? Ferguson. Prove it. You really can't anymore. Of course, Mr. Price, Ray, went to Maury. And that was the last team Menchville won, which is relevant. The last time Menchville won was 28-7 against Maury a year ago. And they were 1-9 last year. Butts, nowhere. Good pressure by the defensive line of Heritage.
Yeah, Butts did a good job to avoid the initial rush, but then he stepped up. Butts and his receivers were covered.
It's been all about Butts and nobody else, though.
Exactly. It's almost like a Sir Mix-a-Lot song out there tonight, Greg.
Hey, don't know the old music genre up here.
But he does need help. His receivers have got to step up. His line's got to block a little better. He's also got to make better decisions because we talked about going into the half, he had a chance to set him up for at least a field goal, at least come away with 3 points, and he lost some yardage on that play. So it's a team effort. They've just got to do better.
And this swivel kick nowhere close. And as the great, great musician Alexander O'Neill would say, you don't need to criticize all the time either.
That is one of my favorite songs. They play it at work sometimes. All you ever do is criticize.
And Menchville is just tired of that criticism.
And it gets to be something where you internalize the criticism. And the kids, you see them walking around with their heads down. It's an attitude, and it's a culture that Coach Savage is going to have to fight against because this didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to get changed overnight.
And when we were in school, in the late 80s and 90s, of course, it was no social media. Now when you lose, when you get home, your Facebook page can be blown up.
Yep.
Your Instagram, your Twitter, your LinkedIn.
We saw the crowd out here. The crowd out here tonight, I'm sure they're texting and sending Facebook messages.
And that's tough on the kids.
Letting people know that what's going on with the game. So it's a lot to take in if you're one of the Menchville
This is no more waiting for the score to be in the paper the next morning. Or even live TV. They're tweeting it as they're talking.
And that's where it comes back to the head coach.
Periscope.
He's got to be the one that tells the kids to block all that stuff out.
Right. I know Bobby Wilder, the coach of Old Dominion, is not a big fan of it.
You see a lot of coaches in college now and even in the NFL, they're saying, no, our players aren't going to be on social media.
Here's what they're doing now is they're milking the clock. They're starting to milk the clock a little bit.
And you mentioned social media, like even in the NFL, players are not immune to it. Marshawn Lynch's mother got on Facebook the other day and caused a bit of a dust-up criticizing the Seattle Seahawks. And you never know who's out there listening to what you have to say or reading what you post.
And nice run there by the Hurricanes. Number 8, respectively, Jeremiah Boyd. He's only a junior.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Boyd tonight. He's made a couple good passes. He hasn't made very many mistakes.
Not overplaying, playing within himself. Take a look at it again, folks.
Like you said, Greg, playing within himself is the key. Does a good job keeping the ball, has his eyes looking downfield just in case he needs to pass the ball. Picks up what he needs, doesn't go for too much. Great job on the outside running by Jeremiah Boyd. He's done an excellent job running this offense, being a game manager tonight, Greg. And, of course, you're watching Prep Football on Cox Cable Channel 47 in Newport News, Verizon Fios 17, and nnpstv.com. And if you're Heritage, what you want Jeremiah Boyd to do is a lot like what Rex Ryan and the Buffalo Bills wants Tyrod Taylor to do now that he's the starting quarterback. Manage the team, make some plays with your feet every now and then, but don't make mistakes. And we saw Tyrod Taylor in week 1 leading the Buffalo Bills to a victory, and I think that's a great job for the former Hampton High standout.
And let me say this about, you mentioned Tyrod Taylor. We had him on Sports Highlights in 2014, and he rode the bench with the Ravens and just showed you he didn't have to ride the bench. But playing under that system, under Ozzie Newsome and Harbaugh, helped him mature. He learned from a Super Bowl team and gave him confidence. And now they're playing, a lot better with him at the helm. Rex Ryan's a brand new coach, as well as, Taylor learning on the spot.
And he did a great job. I think what Taylor did was he was given the opportunity to learn. He was given the opportunity to sit. He was given the opportunity to mature. And that's something that a lot of these young quarterbacks don't get. They're thrown right into the game fresh off of college. And Tyrod Taylor had the chance to sit behind Joe Flacco, learn in an offense, learn from a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And now that he's been given the shot, he's been making big moves. And speaking of making big moves,
we mentioned another big play earlier on, and Massenburg learned from Mike Smith.
Great job by the Heritage Hurricanes. Yes, you talk about Mike Smith, and one of the things you can say about Mike Smith's teams is they're relentless. When they got the lead, when they have you on the ropes, they're gonna put it on you.
Let's take a look at it again. Look at that nice graphic there by Crew as well.
Excellent job by the Crew.
And Boyd throws a screen pass behind the receiver, but he still makes the catch, Nate Milton.
Just a simple play, and right there.
Looks like one of the guys lost part of his uniform.
That doesn't stop him, though, and Menchville finally is able to bring him down, but another great play by the Hurricanes.
And Boyd on the outside goes nowhere. You learn the relevant information right here, folks. There you see him, number 8, the one and only Jeremiah Boyd.
And as good as he's been tonight, Greg, I think next year is going to be the year for Jeremiah Boyd. He had an excellent freshman season 2 years ago. Last year he was hurt and wasn't really effective. And this year he started off a little bit slow, but you can see that he has what it takes to be a solid quarterback. I think next year is going to be a telling year for this young man.
Yeah, I think next year as well. Because he got rotated last year. And good defense there by the Monarchs. Menchville's just looking for any edge, but they're, the hourglass is ticking.
What's the old saying? Like sands in the hourglass, these are the days of our lives. And I think Menchville's wishing they could change the channel from this soap opera.
Every time I think about the hourglass, I think of the old, Wizard of Oz, where the Wicked Witch was looking at the hourglass. To that day, she scares me in that movie.
The Wicked Witch.
Halloween is coming up here.
So anytime you see her riding that bike, Greg.
Oh, boy. I see enough of that in my neighborhood.
Uh-oh.
5:17 left in the third quarter.
We've seen Boyd go deep about 4 or 5 different times tonight, and he's overthrown the receivers.
And that's exactly what you're seeing. Like when Ronald Curry was playing, he would be ahead of his own teammates. But at college, it caught up to him.
Yeah.
Where everybody was as good as he was. They're all blue-chip athletes, all parade All-Americans, and he wasn't as relevant in college relevant as college in the NFL. But high school, 1 or 2 players can dominate and be superstars. That don't work in college and the NFL.
Yeah,
ask Terry Kirby that as well.
Every level you get to. And, Terry Kirby, he had a okay career, but he was never a dominant force.
Never a standout, no.
Hello.
And a big break there by the Monarchs. Daylight in the white uniforms. Across the 50. Get excited, Menchville. Number 15 for the Monarchs. And Ray Savage, Keyshawn Parker. Don't forget, Ray Savage III is number 9 for the Monarchs. Let's take a look at it again.
Keyshawn Parker coming up, stepping up, doing a good job, leading this Ray Savage defense right there. The AC picks it off, got him, and he's trying to take it to the house.
Looks like the guiding light out there.
I'm telling you, excellent job by the Heritage Hurricanes. Getting in there, stepping up, making some good defensive plays. That's what it's all about here. You've got to take your time. When you're the Menchville Monarchs, you have nothing to lose. You're down 29-5. Go out there, make some plays, make some things happen, and that's what Keyshawn Parker did right there, folks.
Menchville going right to left.
We'll see if they can turn that defense into offense now.
Don't forget, a report card coming up in the fourth quarter, as well as our report card for atmosphere and the crew list.
There you go.
We have some veteran students up here as well.
Yeah, we had
you have that crew list with you.
A great job by our
jazz it up a little bit later. I want to thank DeAndre Foscue up here as well for doing a great job, too.
DeAndre
one of the
with
veterans.
a great interview with the principal.
Yes, super job by Mr. DeAndre. Real gentleman. There you see number 5 for the Monarchs right there, respectively, Torrey Guilford. And equipment, everything is so important, the way you present yourself, and so much can happen before you even come to the contest of the game.
What's that mental edge? You know, you've got to have your equipment ready. You've got to have your mind right. You got to have your body right. It's a total package, a total team effort. And right now we're seeing Menchville on the down end of the spectrum right now. But if they can find some way to get a score, at least that's some positive momentum.
But you
forward.
don't want to keep on going in circles all night either.
No, was that old Billy Preston song? Will it go round in circles? And Menchville wants to get off of that turntable. They've been doing
or
the
that
same
song
thing.
Back and Forth, remember? Back in the day?
Back and forth. They've been doing the same thing for almost a decade now, Greg, and it's not been a great.
Since the early 90s almost.
Yeah, it's 93, as we mentioned earlier, was their last playoff appearance. They haven't had very many winning seasons or even 4 or 5 win seasons since that time, and it's something where eventually you've got to change the culture, and that's what Coach Savage is trying to do now.
It's hard to get a coach like Nuttycombe who's there for from 70 to 88, and Jacob from 89 to 97 for so many years.
And Tom Jacob didn't win every season, but Coach Pitts,
he was consistent.
The athletic director there, allowed him the time to grow and to install his program and his offense, and eventually Menchville won.
And Jacob learned a lot from Bill Lyons at Warwick.
Yep, and it's about that coaching tree, so we'll see. I hope.
And what happens now is you got a nice run there by Butts. Is Heritage got some fatigue here.
Yep.
And a good team would have capitalized on that. But Menchville's still a young, growing team. But you can't always have the excuse, we're young. Next year.
Yep.
This is only game number 4.
And I hope Coach Savage is given that time to build this team, because
if he wants to, though, he's got to want it himself.
That's a good point. But I think Coach Savage, obviously he wanted to coach his son. That's a big allure to taking this job. But I do think that he knows there's a lot of good kids here at Menchville, and they just been beaten down for so long that they need somebody to come in and give them some hope, give them some enthusiasm, and we'll see if he can do that.
There's Butts again. Butts goes to the outside, a herd of Hurricanes. Beautiful audio video on the screen here tonight. Glad you're with us. There's the Ray Savage right there. Played for George Welsh in Virginia. And went to Warwick High School, where Tom Jacob was an assistant at Warwick with Bill Lyons when he was there. Played with Derek Steele, who played for Maryland. So 2 of the big name players at Warwick before Michael Vick were there was this gentleman right here, Ray Savage, and his former running mate, Derek Steele, who went to Maryland. 2 of the players from the Peninsula District that went to Virginia and Maryland. Ray went to Warwick, went to UVA, and was a sports agent. Big 3 facts. Nice run right there by who else? Number 6, Malik Dixon.
Dixon finally getting some things going on the ground. Nice job.
Don't forget, tweet at Greg Bick, N8 Mosaic. Sports highlights archives on nnpstv.com. Hampton Road spells sports, nnpstv.com. And you're watching Prep Football on Cox Cable 47, 517, and nnpstv.com.
And don't forget, folks, Sports Scene is on 1650 a.m. each Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. Also on tunein.com. Type in WHKT for the Sports Scene. Who you got coming up on the show, Greg?
Hopefully you soon. You got that car now.
Yeah, now I can make my way over there and have a great conversation with you like always.
And I got to give you a lot of respect. You use the taxi like it was a big city. A lot of people in Newport News don't use taxi cabs. In New York, that's all they use.
Yes.
In Miami, I would prefer a taxi over the subway any day.
And New
I got to
York,
give you a lot of credit for doing, exactly.
Public transportation is where it's at.
Butts.
Hello.
Wobbly pass. Out of bounds.
Oh.
But a lot of people don't like using taxis. And when I go to Miami, I love the taxi.
Yep.
New York, taxi. Taxis are better than subways.
And I will tell you,
you're a big fan of taxis.
Not only the taxis, but now with the Uber app, Greg, like Uber drivers are kind of the next big thing.
We'll talk about it. Instant replay.
Here we're going to see this pass by Butts.
Kind of wobbly pass.
Great job getting out there. Like you said, the pass is a little bit wobbly right there. Runs out of real estate, though. Has a man deep in the end zone, runs out of real estate. Good job on the deflection by the Heritage Hurricanes.
He was throwing that back to Menchville High School.
But great job, great effort shown right now by the Menchville Monarchs.
And good teams have that 1-2 punch that carries on to offense, defense, special teams. Menchville's got Butts, they got Dixon, but they need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, in big moments, you need one of your big skill players to step up, whether that is the quarterback, a wide receiver, or a running back. And unfortunately, we have not seen too many explosions on offense from Menchville tonight as another flag is on the field.
We got 1:39 left in the third quarter. This game's already gone 2 hours.
I'll tell you what, it's 2 hours too long for the Menchville Monarchs, Greg.
Right, and the thing about it with football, you think about it all week.
Yeah, you've only got one game. It's not like baseball. It's not like basketball. You think about that game all week.
And what's the worst thing you do? Lay on the couch and the sofa and you think about it. You got to move on, but when you're laying down, you do think about everything negative.
Especially a Friday night game because you're typically not going to have a practice on Saturday. You're going to be off Sunday. So you've got 2 days over the weekend to think about that loss.
Butts goes nowhere.
And Menchville, like we mentioned, Greg, winless this year. They only had one win last year. It's gets to a point where you just expect to lose.
You're right. You and I said it at the same time. And I remember when Menchville first played Heritage way back in '96, even back then, Heritage was ahead of Menchville in the first year. Because Menchville was coming off some down years. But they had Bobby Stabler.
And Bobby Stabler, who was one of the
you really
running
like
backs
Jay Reed?
in Menchville. Jay Reed, who eventually transferred to Denby. Andy Marlowe was a quarterback for a while. But you talk about after Tom Jacob left, there was not the stability there that they had before. And so then you go through all these different coaches, and it's nothing against the coaches, nothing against John Byron, nothing against Don Mollenhauer, who has had a great tenure coaching Menchville track and field, but they just never got the consistency that the Monarchs needed.
Nice play there by the Monarchs with 36 seconds left in the quarter. Still 29-5. Might be a little too late, but at least they're getting some confidence up, and they need it. They need more of those plays.
If Menchville can score a touchdown or score a couple touchdowns, even if they lose, that's a good feeling because they have not come by a lot of offense this year, Greg.
So who does that say more about, Menchville or Heritage? It's not good for Heritage either.
If Menchville can put some points on the board, that'll be good for them. Heritage, though, that'll start to creep in some doubt when they play some of these tougher teams like we mentioned.
Menchville in the shotgun. There's Butts. Screen pass deflected. He might have been a little bit too anxious there.
Yeah, he didn't have his feet set, just kind of tried to make a little hop throw right there, and it was deflected, knocked back, right back in his face. Heritage, like we said, Greg, they have been ready to pounce on this Menchville Monarchs team all night long from the defensive side of things. But Menchville, to their credit, they've had a nice little sustained drive now. After the interception, they've held on to the ball.
Only 8 seconds left, folks, in the third quarter. Still 12 minutes ahead of us. You don't want to look back. You got to eliminate the negative stuff, eliminate the errors, and move on.
You know, like Dr. Phil would say, you got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, Greg.
Flags all over the place. As soon as you say negative, the flags come down. 29-5 Heritage, and they really haven't dominated either. They've just done enough.
Yeah, Heritage, they've had spurts where they've looked dominant, but they haven't been able to sustain it, and that's been one of their problems all season long. They've got some talented kids out there, but they are still learning. They are still finding their way in this system, and I think by the end of the season, Coach Massenberg's team is going to look a lot better than they look right now.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. It is Heritage holding on to a 29-5 lead here at Todd Stadium in Newport News on this beautiful September evening. We'll be back after these messages.
Aviation Academy offers a variety of hands-on experiences. Chooses select students to create a great small community. is located at an airport for applied learning, and is career-oriented for students who are going to pursue aviation in their future. For more information, please contact the Aviation Academy at 757-886-2745.
All right, back here at Todd Stadium for our final quarter, and I believe it's Dr. Aaron Smith, Mr. Price from the Aviation Academy, does a really good job training students.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about here. You know, we're having fun at this football game tonight, but here in the Newport News school system, it's all about academics, activities, and athletics, and we're just happy to bring this game to you tonight, folks, on NNPSTV.com.
Or as Jack Nicholson said when he was the Joker in Batman, Menchville and Heritage both need to think about the future.
Who's your number one guy?
Still the best Joker was Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, yeah.
Heath Ledger was number 2.
Yeah. Absolutely. It'd be interesting to see how this new Joker, Jared Leto, does in Suicide Squad.
Or Gotham, and on Fox as well.
So Batman
yeah, absolutely.
They got the new Batman movie coming out with Ben Affleck as Batman.
And what's he doing taking on Superman? I thought they were friends.
I mean, they're not like
me and you going against each other.
Yeah, we would never have a Nate versus Greg movie.
No, I mean, Batman and Superman are buddies, I thought. Now, we can get our predictions about that,
They got to get along.
All right, here comes Menchville. What will they do in the red zone? They got to capitalize in the red zone. Incomplete. You don't want to go down here and just get another field goal again.
No, they've got to punch it in. Then you saw a good job rolling out by Butts. Unfortunately, was unable to hook up with his receiver.
You rolling.
He's rolling.
Nate, who would win that battle between Batman and Superman?
I mean, Superman is stronger, obviously, but Batman always is prepared. He's always got some gadget in his utility belt, much like Coach Massenberg over here.
The only reason I'd give Superman an advantage is he can fly away.
He can fly away, and he's got heat vision. Heat vision is important.
All right. Menchville going for it, folks. What do they got to lose? Really nothing. Butts goes nowhere. Hurricanes stop them.
Good stop by the Hurricanes, but like you said, Greg, they really didn't have anything to lose. I like that play call by Coach Savage. Go for it.
But not enough artillery in the tank either. All right, let's do Fazoli's one more time. Fazoli's.com, pizza and football.
There you go, folks. Fazoli's, they fed our crew. Let them feed your crew. Pizza and football go together like a hand in glove, like peanut butter and jelly, like Batman and Superman. Fazoli's.com.
11739 Jefferson Avenue in Newport News, 596-4324, Fazoli's.com. I want to thank Michelle, another Michelle there at Fazoli's, for feeding the crew all 3 football games.
I had to get some of that sausage pizza early. It was delicious. Gave me the carbohydrates and the energy to come out here and call this game tonight. So big thumbs up to Fazoli's.
Don't forget, folks, you don't want to miss the atmosphere segment in the report card. If you've watched or heard broadcasts in the past, Professor Milton is never easy, even on his own school.
No, I am not. No favoritism here.
There's no minuses. I had to tell you that as well. Or pluses even.
No favoritism for Menchville at all.
Our buddy Bill Nettles up here said, Greg, I'm having trouble walking up these stairs.
We could use an elevator.
Bill said the last time he saw 5 points on the scoreboard was 1988. It was Hampton and Bethel Smith against Kaz. Hampton won the game 5-3.
Wow.
Lowest score he's had in a game where both teams scored. This is pretty bad tonight.
That is a great stat right there by Bill Nettles, the encyclopedia of knowledge here in the booth. That is a wonderful stat. You can win a bar bet with one of those stats.
Yeah, and Mike Smith and Kaz had some really good rivalries. 2 of the best coaches all time with Bill D and John Quill. And really those are the four disciples of coaching.
Like your Mount Rushmore almost.
Oh, my goodness. I would say Smith first.
Yep.
Kaz, because he won 3 state championships. Yep. Quillen would probably be 4th because D won several as well.
Yeah.
Stan Sexton, we miss Stan. We'd like to see him back coaching as well.
Yeah, Stan was a great guy, and now you're seeing some of these young coaches, guys that played for those great coaches we talked about, guys that played for Quillen, guys that played for Kaz, guys that played for Mike Smith. Now they're coaching their own team.
Right, like William Beverly at Bethel. We're going to try to get William Beverly on sports highlights in the future. Look forward to that. See the Heritage coach Massenberg, who played for Mike Smith. Ooh. Oh, Gabriel Price is in the truck as well. Got all the prices out here tonight.
So the price is right. I'm telling you, Greg, we might be out of a job here pretty soon.
Oh. They are the movie stars. Well, we got the one and only Sammy Price.
We might be out of a job. I got to look over my shoulder with Sam Price up here. He might get on the mic and break it down for the people.
Yeah, one time I was looking in my backyard. Who was back there? Sam reading my meter. My water bill went up way up high. Who do you want to blame that on? Sam Price. I mean, Sammy, I'm basically your uncle, you know. Cut me some slack in the water bill. And off to the races there, Heritage out to the 40.
Talk about the water. He was flowing like water right there. Great job again by the Heritage offense. They've got a high-powered offense. Menchville not putting up a whole lot of resistance tonight.
Doing the water dance.
Doing the water dance.
Let's take a look at it again, folks. NNPS television at its best.
There you see, just real quick, nice run to the outside. As soon as he hits that corner, it's off to the races. And Menchville does a great job at the last minute bringing him down because he was headed for pay dirt.
My dad always would say, don't experiment, but Heritage can experiment tonight. That was number 5 right there, folks. Tori, check that. Roy Johnson III.
RJ3.
Yeah.
Having a better day than RG3.
Both teams just trying to get to fundamentals tonight. 29-5 is the score. Really just been all Heritage, but they haven't done nothing spectacular in the second half either.
No, Heritage, most of their damage was done in the first half, and we saw some really big plays from Heritage in the first half, and we saw Boyd making some great passes, a touchdown run by Shackelford. But other than that, Heritage has been pretty quiet in the second half. Menchville, on the other hand, they've been trying to make something happen, but it's just they're so close but yet so far from being that good team that they want to be.
Completion there by the Hurricanes in the gray uniforms by number 4, Timothy Payne, respectively, for the Hurricanes. .953. Menchville, just a safety and a field goal.
Yeah, and
now remember, they average 4 points a game. At least they got to 5 tonight.
At least they got to 5.
And we didn't mean that literally, but it has happened. Heritage bulldozing to the 20. Nice play there by number 5. Who else? Roy Johnson III.
Another great run by RJ3. Bobbing and weaving.
Speaking of RG3, he's not too happy right now. He's like real estate to another team.
I'm telling you, RG3 is still a good quarterback. I think he's got it'd be the best move for the Redskins and for him to part ways.
Yeah, look at, the Bills quarterback.
Tyrod Taylor, yeah.
Yeah. He left the Ravens, went to the Bills.
Look at Nick Foles in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the change of scenery is good. Yep, Bradford with the Eagles.
But I'm not sure. I think Bradford's been hurt so much. I think now he's a mental case. He's so worried about getting hit.
Yes.
You remember saw him in the earliest part of the season. Oh my God, I got hit. Leave me alone. You're playing tackle football. He went to Oklahoma too.
Yeah, and Bradford, he was a really talented quarterback, but unfortunately he got bit by the injury bug early, and he's never been the same.
He's been shaken. Hurricanes on the ground across the 10. Good defense there by the Monarchs. Number 9, there you see the nice uniform by the Monarchs. Number 9, Ray Savage III will be on Sports Highlights in the month of October.
Is the coach's son, 6'2", 200-pound senior, plays tight end as well.
And a good example, he's played for a couple different schools, like Casey Vick has as well, who's at Denby. And that's the thing, you want to stay at one school. You really don't want to transfer in high school. College, I understand, but high school, it's like school spirit too.
Yep.
Something to be said of going to the same school for 4 years. And now, if your dad's coaching, that's different.
Yeah, and I really like that. Menchville did something they usually don't do, and that's promote from within, because Coach Savage was the defensive coordinator last year,
and that was a very difficult thing too at Menchville years and years ago. That the late Jim Snow was the baseball coach, and his son Mitch played for the baseball team, and he played for the football team. Both of them have passed away, and it was never easy for Coach Snow to coach his son either.
Well, Coach Savage, you have to walk that line between being a father and being a coach, being a parent and being a coach, as we see the young man being helped off the field right now. But he's got to treat him like any of the rest of the guys on the team. And Ray, on the other hand, he can't look at his dad and say, hey, Dad, why you treat me like this? He's got to look at it as he's the coach.
Bill, this is like a car terminology, Bill Nettles. Menchville's been running without a transmission since Charlie Nuttycombe and Tom Jacob been here. That's the sad part. Imagine driving without a transmission.
Not only do they not have a transmission,
yeah,
they've been running on 3 wheels for the past 10 years.
Yeah, that's what it's been like for Menchville. No transmission. Yeah.
Menchville has been running on fumes for the past 10 years, unfortunately.
Heritage on the ground. Monarchs just trying to get any type of stop here, and even Heritage, a little stutter right there, they go backwards. Roy Johnson, the third.
RJ3.
Sorry.
So if you're Heritage right now, basically, you just want to run out the clock, make sure nobody gets hurt, and
you don't want to do nothing fancy right now.
Yeah, you want to live to fight another day.
The entire Price family up here. $7:50 remaining. Hurricanes. Flag comes down. Throw it. Incomplete, overthrown.
Wow.
Nate, let's start off with the atmosphere first. Atmosphere on both sides. No, this is not the report card yet, folks. This is the atmosphere. And the atmosphere overall at Todd Stadium tonight.
I mean, the atmosphere overall tonight, it's our first game of the year, Greg. Menchville and Heritage. We'll get to the report card in a second. But first of all, the atmosphere, the ambiance, if you will, it's not as full as I would like to see Todd Stadium. I want to see these young guys and girls get supported out here, whether it's the football players on the field or the cheerleaders or the band. I want to see
concessions, the fan, the tailgating, something.
Yes, some tailgating, some
barbecue,
some pizzazz. Bring it out here. I know it's Friday.
Storm the field. No, not that. No,
Where's
right.
the love? So I'd say from an ambiance, from an atmosphere standpoint, Greg, it's
great.
It's not great. It's good. It's good.
All right, don't waffle like some of the politicians, Nate. Give us a grade.
I need some syrup with these waffles.
Yes. How would you grade the overall atmosphere of Todd Stadium tonight?
Overall atmosphere at Todd Stadium tonight. Great job by the Heritage Band, I will say that, and the step team and all of that. So I'd say it's pretty good.
And the pass complete for a touchdown, but a flag down. Flag down. Nate's report card coming up in just a moment. We'll see what the referees say. They've been superseding the game all night. They've done a great job as well. They're tired too. Let's take a look at it again, folks.
There you're going to see just a nice spiral. Good job putting some air under the ball, just enough lift. And right there.
But a flag down. Greg Pickaveris, Nate Milton in the fourth quarter. Glad you're with us on Cox Cable 47-517. There's a referee, Jim Mayhew. Touchdown. So now, in what was a 29-5 game is now a 35-5 game. This game is pretty much seal it. It's done. Checkmate. Here it is, just adding the mustard. We're adding a little extra tomato sauce to the pizza.
I was saying, put a little extra tomato sauce on the pizza.
A little garlic, on the pizza.
A little garlic. If you want to go hot dog analogies, Menchville couldn't quite catch up. They couldn't cut the mustard, and this is a win Heritage is going to relish.
All right, the final atmosphere grade.
Final atmosphere grade. It's pretty good. I'll say it's a 6 out of 10.
Give us a grade, Nate.
And now it is time for the report card.
Grade for the atmosphere.
Grade for the atmosphere? Let's go C.
Okay, very good. That's generous.
Now it's the report card. This is what the people come to see.
All right, here it is.
Week, fourth quarter.
Menchville. So they're the visiting team.
On offense, Menchville, you get an A for effort. But in terms of an actual grade, you guys get a D.
That's nice.
Defensively, again, you guys tried hard. Ray Savage made a couple nice plays out there, but I got to give him a D.
Special teams.
Special teams. I like some of what the special teams did tonight. Kept them in the game with some field position. They got a safety. So special teams has put all 5 points on the board tonight, Greg. So I'm going to go ahead and give the special teams a B tonight,
wow.
Greg. Special teams gets a B. So we got D for offense, D for defense, B for special teams.
Well, those 2 Ds weigh him down.
Overall, right. The 2 Ds weigh it down. So overall, it's a D, but it's a high D. Like, it's almost a D+.
That is deflating. D means deflating. Nate is tough. At least you give him an F, Nate. I might have given him an F myself.
Oh. I mean, they tried hard. And that's the thing, though. Menchville, it's almost like you got to grade them on a curve. This might be the best game Menchville's played all year, and they're still going to lose. Just not a good year for the Monarchs.
35, now 36 to 5. 7:36 remaining. All right. Report card for the Hurricanes.
And for the Hurricanes, nice job tonight by Jeremiah Boyd and his Heritage Hurricanes offense. I think, Greg, on offense, as we see a nice job of the special teams for Menchville again, earning that B tonight. I think for Heritage on offense, I'm going to give them a B. I think they left a lot of points on the table for some of the overthrows. They could have done a little bit better job. They had some fumbles here and there. But overall, the offense looked good. I'm going to give them a B. Defensively, again, Menchville, it was almost like a bend but don't break defense for Heritage. Menchville moved the ball, but they were never able to score in the red zone. So defensively, I'm going to give them a B too, Greg. And on special teams were pretty good. They made some nice plays. But I'm going to give them
gave up the points, though.
Yeah, they gave up some points, though. I'll give special teams a C. So overall, Greg, tonight, I'm going to give the Heritage Hurricanes, I'm going to give them a B, Greg. I'm going to go ahead and give them a B because I think this is the type of game, yes, Menchville isn't the toughest opponent, but this is the type of game that if Heritage can
another price up
move
here.
up and Heritage can take that next step. Great job by the Heritage Hurricanes.
Gabe Price is up here. The only other Gabe I knew, Mike, was Gabe Kaplan. So this is the second Gabe I know. Gabe is just a little chunky guy, really. He's like shaking our hands right now. How old is Gabe Price? 5 months.
Great to see Gabe Price up here in the booth. Got as much hair as his daddy. It's a wonderful thing.
Gabe Price. Take a look at the camera, Gabe. He's looking right at me. Okay. All right, cool.
First time he's been on camera, but as a Price, I'm sure it won't be the last time.
And Mike, I'm sure you're proud of your high school for doing once again great football job tonight.
Yeah, I was a drum instructor at Heritage too.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how every Menchville Monarch says that?
I was going to say,
now?
Mike Price of absolving himself of Menchville. Sam is ducked away in the corner somewhere. Nobody wants to claim these Monarchs.
I wish I could have been a Monarch. I don't even have a school.
Yeah, Greg's school does not even exist anymore. Oh,
Sam says he's in the witness protection program.
It's almost over, Menchville. I will say, Greg, like I said, man, I think that this game it's going to be a loss, but it might have been the best game we've seen Menchville play
Before you
all
do the
year.
crew list, Nate, it's time to sing that song.
Time to turn out the lights.
Early, out of respect to the late Don Meredith on
Don.
ABC. Go ahead, Nate, take it away.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
I know it's tough for you to say that as your alma mater and alumni, too.
And that's the thing. This is not going to happen overnight like we've been saying all night. I think Coach Savage is the right guy for the job, and I hope he comes back because
he's going to have the desire to want it.
Yeah, he's got to want to come back. But one of the
he can't be just 2 years and done again.
One of the problems is, you can't have coaches come in and stay 1 or 2 years. You don't get consistency. And there you go. Rising 11th graders, if you are interested in TV production, call Telecom for info or to schedule a tour, 591-4687 extension 0. Again, 591-4687 extension 0. You can earn college credit through the Telecom program and follow in the footsteps of people like myself and Mike Price.
That's right, folks. Learn it as a junior and senior on-the-job training while you're in school. 36-5. Before we get to our crew list, I want to thank Channel 13 for doing a great job on what Mr. Price did all summer long at Huntington Middle School and also The Spark program, really great video, and I saw it, really enjoyed it as well. And it's all about the summer enrichment too, learning. And I want to thank Fox 43 for doing a feature on yours truly as well. So Ray and I both featured on Fox 43 and Channel 13 this summer.
Yeah, I happened to see both of those. So congratulations to you and Mr. Price.
Give us an A in the report card for it.
Yeah, you get an A on that, Greg. You get an A on that.
That was nice. It's rare that other TV people acknowledge other TV and radio people.
Yeah, especially not to blow you up too much, Greg.
Right.
But Greg's been doing this for a long time in this community, and it was really cool to see him get some acknowledgement and recognition.
Thank you. Well, we're all a team effort, and we're going to do our crew list here in just a moment. After this play, I'll start it off with the adult crew, 36-5. That is no error on the scoreboard, folks. Menchville in the white, Heritage in the maroon, silver and white. Kind of gray uniforms. The weather's been very bright, kind of humid. Who else? Our buddy, the one and only, number 11, Shamar Butts. Now, Menchville's had good quarterbacks like the Hagan brothers and Billy Wright. You mentioned Marlowe, but they haven't had a consistent. Jay Reed was pretty good, but they haven't had a consistent passer and runner as well.
Yeah, they had Marcus Lee for a while.
Jay Reed.
They had some other guys behind center. Clifton Richardson, who was more of a option back, but they just never have had that consistency behind center.
Well, Hampton's had it like Curry and Quillen.
Yep.
Tyrod Taylor.
It's funny, when Tyrod Taylor, as good as he is, he's not even the best quarterback in Hampton history.
And Marcus Akins was very good too.
The lineage goes on and on.
And there's an outside run there by the Monarchs. Number 6, Malik Dixon, scores 36-5. All right, the executive producer of NNPS TV is Michelle Price, who went to Menchville High School. The coordinating producer and the producer of tonight's telecast, the executive producer of Sports Highlights and Fusion Fitness, Ray Price. The director since 1993, Bill Barlow, doing a splendid job. Ray's been with us since 1992. Of course, our buddy CD, Carl Daniels, who is the PA in the red hat, instructor. Great job by CD. Our engineer, I want to welcome Greg Lesko on board as well. So great. And, of course, you and myself, Nate, great staff working with the students, and it takes the entire team to make it happen.
Yep, and as you mentioned, welcome aboard Greg Lesko, another Greg on the crew.
We had a Greg Swan at one time,
Greg
too.
Swan.
And DeAndre Foster, we gave him an acknowledgement earlier. A really real gentleman DeAndre is.
And DeAndre did a great job with the interview earlier, and I'll give you the rest of the student crew after this next play, folks.
And we only got 4:15 left in this game, 36-5, and the entire Price family's up here.
It's almost like a family reunion.
That's it.
Just missing Regina.
Flags. Menchville catches it. Don't take this away from him, folks. Give it to him.
He made the
nice
catch.
catch by number 84, Luke Wells. Will the force be enough?
We'll see if it stands. If they take this off the board.
You see the montage right there?
You're going to see.
Butts had time to throw. It might have been Butts' best play of the game.
Good throw by Butts.
I don't traffic, too. Great catch by Luke Wells, Nate.
Yeah, I don't see any offensive foul by Wells.
I don't see 11 points on the board either. Here's what Jim Mayhew will say. On Menchville doesn't count.
Wow.
And that can be demoralizing.
How do you take that away?
Several touchdowns away.
How do you take that away? I didn't see anything.
That's like taking candy away from a kid.
Wow. He's like the Grinch that stole Christmas.
And don't forget, when we do our October game, we'll talk about our favorite Halloween candy, one of our great traditions. I'll tell you mine now is those Twizzlers of licorice.
That's the leader in the clubhouse?
I'll go to Walmart in the middle of the night to get that. And they've seen me there before.
Menchville would go to Walmart in the middle of the night to have a touchdown.
Yeah. .401. Butts on the outside. A little bit too late. Ooh! Wow. Butts just doing a rebel yell from the King's Dominion. Oh, my goodness. I rode that recently as well, folks. He just did the Rebel Yell at King's Dominion. Unbelievable flip. This might be the play of the game by Heritage.
Wow.
That was like a roller coaster in motion, the hit he just took.
You mentioned the Rebel Yell from Kings Dominion, but what a great play by the defense, getting in and upending them, putting them head over heels.
He just dropped the ball. He's shaking up still. Way out of bounds. Wow, that was like a roller coaster ride in the middle of the Newport News night. Luckily, he's okay.
This is not touch football. This is not ballet out here, folks.
I rode a roller coaster recently. They're not easy either, Nate. It's always you give that little unconfidence seeing the operator saying, "Oh boy, make sure you just hit that lever a little bit harder."
I'm a fan of a good roller coaster every now and then, but not too much.
Just the water rides for me. Of course, sports highlights all month long from Kings Dominion. Cox Cable 47, 517, NNPSTV.com. 9 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday morning. Monday at 7, 2, and 7. And a nice move right there. Number 5. Torrey Guilford, move like Jagger, right?
He looked like Michael Jackson, a little smooth criminal action right there.
Yeah.
Good job. Now Menchville's finally starting to put something together. I hope that, normally we don't root, Greg, but I hope they can score because just for their own personal morale. Find a way into this end zone, put 6 points on the board just so you can say you did it.
You only got 2:55 left in the game. This game has gone 2 hours and 33 minutes right now, including halftime, of course. Butts skedaddling to the left. He's got some daylight. Will he get in pay dirt? They're calling it a touchdown.
Is this one going to stand, though?
Isn't it funny how you never see all the referees raising their arms at once? It's almost like, let me see what the other guy's going to do. Where's that confidence at? All the referees need to raise their arms up, especially when Menchville scores a touchdown.
You got to think about it.
It's like they're not used to doing it.
Will this touchdown actually stand, though? That's the question.
They still haven't put it on the scoreboard yet. 36-5. We hope to see 11.
Why are they playing with their emotions?
It's like she loves me not.
Yeah, that's what
it counts. 36-11.
Finally.
The extra point is up, and it's good. 36-12. Where's that been all night?
Yeah. Finally, we get to call a touchdown play for the Menchville Monarchs, Greg, here on the instant replay. And it's your man, Shamari Butts, does a good job rolling out, sees the defense, looking downfield to see if he can find somebody in the end zone.
This is key. Got past number 71 right there, Damian Ponders.
Yeah, he got past him, and then he was able to find his way into the end zone. And finally, the streak is over. The Menchville Monarchs have scored a touchdown. Great job by Butts running it in for the Monarchs.
But of course. Menchville's got, all right, sports highlights.
You can watch sports highlights Monday at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m., and, of course, Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. here on Cox Channel 47 and FiOS Channel 17. And who is going to be on sports highlights, Greg? Who do you got coming up for the people?
Kings Dominion this month.
Kings Dominion.
Next month, Ray Savage.
Wow.
His son and Casey Vick's son. So all about the schools next month.
And that just shows you the heritage that we've got here, not just Heritage High School, but
father and son.
Father and son, the lineage. It's a great thing with both the Vick family as well as the Savages.
There you go, YouTube. See all the great programming from the Newport News schools on YouTube channel. I gotta love that logo. YouTube has really changed audio and video so much. It's like a Google search engine with audio and video content.
YouTube, we're in the social media age. YouTube is bringing us together, and there you see the NNPS TV channel on YouTube. Go check it out, folks.
See, they're a perfect example. Don't say that your computer has enough storage space. Imagine the storage space YouTube's got. Unbelievable.
They got supercomputers.
They probably have computers big as movie screens. But anyway, for Menchville, Nate, Denby and Warwick coming up. And those are winnable games, but they have to show they can win because they've only won one last year. And, of course, Heritage, this is not going to be any easier. They take on Bethel. Then they got Denby, who's always up and down. And Phoebus. All right, Twitter, there he goes. Wow. Ray surprising us tonight. Twitter, at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight without the S, and N8 Mosaic. Cannot wait to put Ray Price's name up there one time, folks.
One day, when we need to start a Twitter campaign.
Folks. Tweet.
Hashtag Price on Twitter.
Remember when we did the text contest we always check out our listeners on radio and TV, and I'll tell you one thing. I had a record, and Heritage right there on the completion. 19 phone calls when I worked the game as far as calls. But we blew a record radio and TV in Hampton Roads history on these airwaves a few years ago during a live game. We had over 30 texts from our viewers in one game. No other radio or TV stations ever had that many phone calls or texts.
Yep. It's all about in this social media age.
People watch our stuff.
It's about connecting. And, of course, we are connecting with you folks on NNPSTV.com. From Boston to Boise, Fargo to Fresno, causing a panic all around the planet.
Incomplete.
What's causing all of this? Just tell them it is the mighty, mighty NNPSTV.com. Glad to bring this game to you.
And as long as we have good weather, we will bring to you Warwick and Woodside and Denby and Warwick. So get a chance to see some other teams play too.
It should be a great season.
It's not a dominating year for the Newport News schools.
No. But I mean, anytime you get out here on these fields, like we said, Greg, you can throw the records out the window.
They're all playing together.
These kids are here to compete, and Woodside's a team that can beat. If Woodside is at their best, they can hang with anybody.
In Newport News.
Yes.
Woodside, the question is who's going to win the Battle of Newport News, Heritage or Woodside? It's right now it's a toss-up.
Yeah, and you know, Danny Dotson, the dean of Newport News coaches, and Coach Massenberg quickly becoming an established coach here.
And Danny went way down south for his first game.
Yes, that was pretty remarkable. They took the loss, but you got to give the Wolverines credit for going down there.
He didn't take the cheese box down there, did he? Ray says they're not allowed to take the cheese box past the state lines. Correct, Ray? Yep, state of Virginia, that's it.
We got to let the games come to us.
I want to see you drive one of the cheese boxes one time. Boy, oh boy, I love the cheese box. I remember when I was a kid at Dunbar, I used to give everybody Starburst.
Oh, yes.
All right, 1:30 left. Having a little fun here, folks. It's been kind of a lopsided game. Of course, we try to bring to you humor and enlightenment after your long week at work. So relax, refresh with us. Fazoli's.com, pizza and football, with a final minute and 15 seconds left in this game. Stay tuned for the post-game show as well. Our wrap-up, and looking forward to our next game as well. Again, replays Wednesday and Friday night. I want to thank Chris James for doing that as well on Cox Cable 47517, NNPSTV.com. Chris, I believe, is a big Braves fan. He likes the Atlanta Braves. And I'll say this too. I'm tired of seeing the Nationals and Orioles not waking up in September.
Yeah.
You know, for a while, the Mets couldn't hit. Well, what do? They got Cespedes, and they can hit now. David Wright, his body's battered, but he's still hitting.
You got to go out and
Zimmerman
make moves.
hasn't been right since he played at Virginia.
Yeah.
And guess what? The Orioles and Nationals probably won't make the postseason again.
No, you got to go out there and make the moves. And
yeah, the Mets, and I'll tell you one thing, the TV networks, they want to see the Mets in the postseason.
Yeah.
And the Yankees, wild card or not, they just want to see them in there. And people are talking more about baseball just as much about football right now. Baseball, I know you're a huge baseball fan.
Yeah.
Cespedes is being more talked about than any football player next to Brady, and Brady's being talked about for deflating football.
I was going to say, Brady's being talked about for the wrong reasons.
Football needs a Cespedes. So we're going to say, from now on, who's going to be the next Cespedes?
We need a Cespedes for the rest of us.
I saw Cespedes play when he played for the A's. What a great hitter he is. 36-12, 108 left in this game. This game is history.
Oh.
We did this game way back in the mid-'90s when, like I said, Jacob was still coaching Menchville. Heritage just had so many. And then when Roger Pierce was coaching Heritage way back, this is the 20th year of Heritage and Woodside school year. 20th year. In fact, we did this game, I believe, in 96, Heritage and Menchville. Hurricanes smart just keeping it on the ground. And they just keep on rolling.
Got him.
They want to just pound that score up. Touchdown Hurricanes. Everybody's scoring tonight.
Wow.
Looking like Golden Richards out there. Let's play for Tom Landry and the Cowboys.
Yet another touchdown. Simple, just an inside handoff.
He was protecting that football. Look at him.
And look at the blockers out there giving a little space. Stiff arm. Weebles wobble, but they won't fall down. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Another score for the Heritage Hurricanes.
42-12. 59 seconds left.
Right when Menchville had some momentum off of the touchdown, we saw the Heritage took it right back.
And it's good. 43-12. All Heritage tonight. 31-point advantage here. Again, Menchville losing to Nansemond River 53-7. Woodside 46-7. Phoebus 34-0. Now losing 43-12 to the Hurricanes.
And Javon McCray with that last run, a 30-yard run, Greg, for the score, and it is all done.
Heritage lost to Lake Taylor 54-0. Beat Warwick 36-18. Lost to Hampton 42-20, and now are winning 43-12 against the Monarchs. So Heritage will go to 2-2. Menchville dipped 0-4.
And not a good night for the Menchville Monarchs. There were some things they could build on.
A couple bright spots, but
yeah, a couple bright spots. But at the end of the day,
it was almost like that sun in the rain cloud.
It's like that commercial where the kids out there and it's a nice rainy day, and then the sun comes up. But unfortunately for Menchville, the sun didn't come out. He was just kind of hiding behind the clouds tonight.
We want to see the tailgating. That'd be a good feature on Sports Highlights. Just do tailgating.
I'm telling
the
you,
hamburgers, the hot dogs,
we
the
need
sausage.
to get the atmosphere going here at Todd Stadium, folks. You got to come out and support these teams.
$51 seconds left.
Real quick, while you got a little break in the action, I'll go ahead and read our student crew list. We did the adult crew list a little bit earlier. Great job by our student crew tonight. We got Brian Peterson, Double D, Dion Davis. Summertime may be over, but Summer Ely is in the truck tonight. Paul Barton, Lorenzo Green, Eleanor Stuck. Where in the world is Carmen Scott? Benjamin Anderson, Muriel Gamble, Stephanie Totinos Belito, Brandon Marrero, Hannah Pennant, and of course,
been in high school for 20
DeAndre
years,
Foskey in the building tonight. Great job by our student crew. They bring
I
this action
swear, I
to
thought
you,
I went
folks.
to school with Stephanie myself. She's still in school.
Great job by the crew tonight.
They're having fun. They're smiling. That's all that matters.
For many of the crew, this is their very first game. Excellent job tonight.
And we don't have the depth like we used to either.
Great job.
Great job coming along. No, I didn't get into radio and TV till my freshman year in college. These kids got into it a little bit earlier. They're junior year.
Our 11th and 12th graders bringing you this action, folks. So you got to appreciate what they're doing, giving you the sights and sounds of this game tonight.
Got to hustle. Menchville can only look to the future. And as you would say in that song, easy into Sunday morning.
They wish it were Sunday morning, because then this game would be 2 days in the past.
Isn't something about Sunday morning, though? The nice breakfast. You know, you think of breakfast and Sunday morning for some reason.
I will tell you
what. Give us your breakfast tradition, Nate.
The thing I like now that the NFL does these London games, is you can wake up at like 10 o'clock in the morning, you got a football game on, get your eggs and bacon going, maybe make an omelet.
Don't forget the corned beef hash, too. Hash browns. Grits.
Now I'm hungry.
Something about breakfast. You can talk about lunch and dinner all you want. Although I'm a steak guy.
So now I'm hungry. Let's call Fazoli's again.
Okay. Eat this late, get indigestion for you and I, though. There's the run right there by who else? He's like, will not go down, Mr. Butts.
I think you got to give Butts a lot of credit, Greg. He's still out here fighting.
But of course.
Still out here playing. But unfortunately, the team is not at a place yet where they can win.
There you see number 88 right there for the Hurricanes. Javon McCray, Nate mentioned him a little bit earlier. If this were a song, Nate, what would the song be for Menchville? What would the song be for Heritage?
The song for Heritage would be a Celebration by Kool and the Gang because they are back on the right track. The song for Menchville, I'll think about that. I'll give it to you after this play.
Criticized by Alexander O'Neill.
I think the song for Menchville would be Had a Bad Day.
Oh, I wonder what Coach Nuttycombe thinks about this Menchville team. Unbelievable. When he was coaching, they had elite athletes. Replay.
Here we see again on the replay, Butts doing the best he can. Nice job. Working the hand up to the inside. Menchville making some positive yardage, but it's a little bit like that old song, Greg, goes, too little, too late to try again.
Yeah, there you go. Nate being tough on his own alma mater. Hey, it is what it is. You can't fool the TV audience. They see it too.
No, and the kids out there know they're trying their best.
Have fun. We all have fun, and we don't root for any teams. We want all the teams to do well.
Yes,
even the Hampton teams too.
Even the Hampton teams. You know, I love
and Gloucester.
But I think Menchville. If you're a fan of the Menchville Monarchs, if you went to Menchville High School, it's been like
it's got to be demoralized
for a long, long time, almost 15 years worth of losing in, and I think. These kids are trying hard. You see Butts.
Especially Butts. He's like trying to take the whole load to himself.
Trying so hard out here, but unfortunately they just don't have enough weapons to get it done right now.
He's like driving the 18-wheeler and the caboose and the train, too.
So he is doing all he can for this team.
I say our players of the game presented by Fazoli's.com for Menchville, obviously – number 11, Shamar Butts. I'll let you do the honors for Heritage.
Yeah, for Menchville, you got to give it to Butts. For Heritage, you got a lot of people that deserve the credit as we see Butts going deep.
Interception. Oh, boy. Not what you wanted, folks. Off to the races, Heritage goes. They want to get 6 more. And Heritage is just going to get 6 more. Menchville's not even going to chase them. And that's it. The game is over.
To the house. What a
the
way to
game
end
is
the game.
over.
What a way to end the game.
Injury for Menchville. They had 6 more points for the Hurricanes. They made it a hurricane, a typhoon, and a tornado tonight.
Menchville's got a player down on the field.
Not how you wanted to end the game.
No, absolutely not. And here you're going to see.
This is where injuries happen too, Nate. Butts throws it.
Just trying to throw it up and get one
Hail
last
Mary.
shot. And there it is. Good recognition by the defense getting up there. Not only taking the ball out of the air, but he's going for the end zone. Got his eyes on the prize. Nobody's going to stop him. E.T. phone home. Watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay. Hello. Did you ever go night-night? That's what he's saying. Did you ever go night-night? Because it's time to go night-night.
Almost attributed to the late, great Biggie.
It was all a dream, Greg.
This is not how you want to end the game with an injury. You can't even shake hands, and sportsmanship is so important.
And we young man still down on the field.
And you see the sportsmanship now. You don't want to see an injury in the last play of the game.
And our final, Greg, 49-12. There you see the sportsmanship, 49-12. Heritage Hurricanes come in, right the ship, and get the win over the Menchville.
Their energy level was still good till the end. It was a peak and valley for Heritage, but they were just too strong of a team, and that's going to be something Menchville's got to guard against all season long.
Yeah, Menchville fought hard. But unfortunately, they just did not have enough in the tank to take on a team like Heritage. And despite the record, Heritage is a team that can come out here and beat some people.
Now, that's the most points Menchville scored all season long was 12 points. And that's the most points Heritage has scored all season long. We'll take a break with the final score once again. It is Heritage 49, Menchville 12. We'll be back after these messages to wrap it up.
Research Research shows that reading aloud is the single most important thing you can do to help a child prepare for reading and learning. More than 15% of young children, 3.1 million, are read to by family members fewer than 3 times a week. Only 48% of young children in this country are read to each day. Is 15 minutes enough to make a difference?
Yes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a scientist. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer.
Our younger students have the right idea. Today's leading careers are involved in science, technology, engineering, and math. Newport News Public Schools has embarked on an aggressive STEM education initiative that prepares students to take full advantage of STEM opportunities in higher education and career fields. So, what do you want to be when you grow up?
All right, we are back, and what a lopsided game. Sure, it was a nice win for Heritage, winning 49-12 over the Menchville Monarchs. Heritage goes to 2-2. Menchville goes to 0-4. What do you take out of this game, Nate?
I think if you're Menchville, you have to take the positives with the negatives. You know, you came out, you lost by a wide margin, but you did sustain some drives. Your special teams played well, and your young quarterback, Butts, came out there, and he played really well tonight. So I think there are some positives Menchville can take, but if you're Heritage, this gets you right back on track. You know, folks, Heritage came out off a loss, and they came in, and Jeremiah Boyd was sharp, the receivers were sharp, and that offense looked really good tonight.
Heritage played with a chip on their shoulder, but that chip decreased as the game went on. And what does that do? When you get the win, you get the confidence. You're back at 500, and you're back in the ball game.
Yeah, even at the end of the game, they weren't phoning it in. We saw the interception to end the game. And, folks, a little bit of inside baseball here. I had the scoring recap all ready to read, but it's too long. It's like a book out here. 49-12 is all you need to know. Heritage rights the ship. The Hurricane landed here. Coach Massenberg and these guys get a great win, and I think that this is going to propel them. They've got some tough games coming up on the schedule, but this could be the kind of game that gives them the confidence, Greg, to take that next step.
61 total points, but the good thing for Heritage, they got the 49. Menchville got the 12. So, once again, 49-12, Heritage beats the Monarchs here at Todd Stadium in Newport News on this beautiful evening. Again, I want to thank Fazoli's.com. Pizza and football go hand in hand. Our entire crew, as well as our great staff and students as well, and we look forward to future football games as well. So for Ray Price, Nate Milton, and the entire crew, once again, Heritage beats Menchville 49-12 at Todd Stadium. I'm Greg Bicaveras. We'll talk to you soon.